Hey everybody, welcome to Comics with Bueller. As always, I'm Bueller. This is the monthly review for all the best comics that came out this month, and we're going to throw in a couple of the tail end from last month because you know what? We haven't done this for a while because there was no new comic books, but now we're flooded with new comics. And as you can see, I'm not alone. I got my good friends here with me. I got Dylan from Dylan's Comics. How are you?
I'm doing good, man. Just glad to be here.
Awesome. And then we got the Ghost Thrasher, Robbie from Pop Culture Philosophers. How you doing, my friend?
I'm doing good. I'm just glad to be here.
Awesome. It's nice to be back doing this again finally. And then, of course, I got Bullseye Bob, who is my co-host for the coffee show. How you doing, Bob?
I'm doing awesome. Very glad to be here, and we're back, people.
Yeah, very cool. Bob, don't forget to bring the coffee tomorrow for us to film the coffee video, so make sure you get that. I appreciate it. I want whipped cream this time. That'd be great. But what this is, we started doing this a few months back before everything went to you-know-what, and we were reviewing the best books, or at least the ones we enjoyed for the whole month. And so now that books are finally back out, we're going to redo this again, starting my channel. Then next time we'll rotate to someone else's. I don't know who's up next. Do you guys know? Nobody knows. We'll have to figure it. We'll have to figure it out. So
Bob hasn't actually done one on his channel yet.
That is true. So Bob, you are going to be up next month, okay?
Yeah, I actually did the 2 battle drafts, right?
Yeah, but that doesn't count.
I was going to say, did he not?
Those don't count, right?
Rob, who is it after Bob? Is it after Bob? Is it Robbie or me? I forget who hosted first. It might have been Robbie and then me.
It was me.
We'll figure it out. We'll let everyone know. But let's talk about the great books that came out this month. And let's just jump right into the one we were just talking about, Daredevil number 20. We have some Daredevil fans that love Daredevil. And you know what? I'm going to go to Bob right here because he's my number one Daredevil fan. Bob, tell us about the book. Why did you like it so much?
Well, Chip Zdarsky has been doing a phenomenal job on this book. And, he started off with basically Matt Murdock coming off of, basically dying, so to speak. Spirit completely broken, and we've gone on this journey with him ever since then in, very heartfelt, soul-searching, all the way to him coming up to taking on the red again and becoming Daredevil. It's built up into this crescendo. It's been a slow burn. It's been awesome all the way through. And issue number 20 was kind of like this was it. I mean, this is what it was all building up to. And I'm sure you guys that have read it won't disagree. It did not disappoint. It was such a good issue. It was batshit crazy all the way through. Such great action. I don't know how Michael Cicchetto made Stiltman look cool, but we had some cool Stiltman. We had some amazing stuff with Rhino. We had a cool scene with Bullseye, and then of course Matt taking on the red in all his glory, and even quoting scripture in the midst of just badassery. I loved it, absolutely. I think it was definitely well worth the wait. Still pissed off that I had to wait 3 months to get it because of the pandemic, but yes, it was awesome.
Yeah, that was a good one. I thought Zdarsky's been doing such a great job with Daredevil. And one of the things that he does so well is he's able to make it stay fresh and new, but it's rooted in the legacy of the character, and he's just so great. Cicchetto's artwork, it's beautiful. This was a giant explosive finale that also launched into the next wave of what's coming up. And it did it so majestically well. And yeah, to make Stiltman look cool and be cool and threatening is quite a feat.
Absolutely.
So I fell off on this book. So I didn't read the part 1 or part 2 because obviously the part 1 came out right before everything shut down, and part 2 came out. What was the date? It was the 10th of this month. So I'm behind, but I flipped through it a little bit. So is Daredevil and Kingpin together? Are they like a team now or something, or what's going on?
No, basically, you had the strong ones who were, pulling the strings, basically running Hell's Kitchen, and so the enemy of my enemy is my friend. So basically, Kingpin was being controlled by the strong ones as well. And so when it came to defending Hell's Kitchen, both of them, turned back to back and started fighting on the same side because they needed to get those fools out of town.
Wow, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's a good moment too, man.
When it comes to the hood, man, they knew what to do.
So where do you see it going from here? Dylan, did you read it? I don't think you did you?
I did not. I've been picking it up, but I flipped through it like you did, so I've seen it. Amazing artwork. I know.
Oh, beautiful.
It's one I got to catch up on, no doubt, but I still been picking it up because I know it's amazing. It's just one I fell behind and I haven't caught back up, and yeah, I definitely need to.
So
I think
Bob,
it's Marvel's best book right now.
I
think we've said that. I think we all agree on that right now.
Yeah.
But where it leaves off, Bueller, is in the very beginning of the storyline. There's a person that Daredevil kills, and he's had an immense amount of guilt over it the whole time. And so now that he's come back into understanding who he is and moving forward, he basically turns himself in at the end of the book. And so that's kind of where we're left. So we're probably going to see Matt in prison again.
So is Chip Zdarsky doing it for a while? I thought I heard somewhere where he might be leaving the title.
No, he's actually been contracted on the title for another full year at this point.
Full year?
Another full year. So
I was wondering that myself, how long his run is going to go, because I was surprised it went as long as it is right now. I thought it was going to be maybe a 12-issue arc or something. So, but I think it's so good that they want him on.
It feels like, maybe he was initially writing it. This could have been the end of a run, and then passed it off to the next writer. But I think it's a no-brainer. If you're an editor at Marvel and Zdarsky's just killing it on Daredevil, and you've got Daredevil being one of your most talked about hype books,
right?
Keep it going.
Well, I mean, he's done such a good job on it. If you listen to the last two interviews that he did, one was the Joe Quesada interview that he does in the mornings, which was a great one because Chip Zdarsky was in bed the whole time with it during that interview. It was pretty awesome. But anyway, his last two interviews, he talked about how the fact that, this was going to be the last issue. They've contracted him for another year, but they basically, in no uncertain terms, told him that he can go as long as he wants. That's pretty awesome.
Nice.
That is. It's actually made because I was actually debating on dropping it just because I haven't been reading it. I felt so behind, but I just can't bring myself because I hear so many good things, and I was like, I just can't drop it because when I decide to catch up, I was like, I want to just be able to binge it all. So
yeah, don't drop it because this one's right on the verge of going all digital. If you drop it, Dylan, that might be the tipping point, and Bob's gonna lose it.
I will not. For Bob, I will not. I will.
If he ever does lead Daredevil, I hope it's to go to Fantastic Four. I would love to see him on
Me
that.
too. Me too.
His Marvel 2-in-1 was amazing. So,
oh my gosh,
the way that he knows the history and he knows how to make it feel familiar and new all at the same time. It's great.
Yeah. No, not just the 2-in-1, but also the X-Men versus Fantastic Four.
Yeah.
So well done.
I was gonna say that's why I really enjoyed reading that by him because he does Doom and all those Fantastic Four characters so well that that's one of my favorite X-Men books out right now because he's just slays it on it.
Well, let me go ahead and jump into the chat here real quick and just say hello to all the people that are joining us right now. First up, we have Dragon Ball Talk, Sam's Tangle Web, Robert the Comic Book G-Spot Galvin, Thomas Mayo, hello. Just the Rican, hello. Two Brothers Comics are in there. Well, they are celebrating also 1,000 subscribers this week, so that's awesome. Comic Crazy's in here. Derek Magnus as well. Let's see. Ghost Poo is in here. That's awesome. Agu Ramos, hello, Agu. How's it going? This is Jay Stick. I think that's right. Is in here. Comic Chat is in here. William's in here. Andrew Silva is in here. Herminio Reyes Jr. is in here. Awesome. Here's my favorite, my daughter Paige. She's in the chat. Hello, Paige. Love you.
Hey, Paige.
Let's see here. Still scrolling down. Jim's in here. SoFlo Jim. His name is Jim. How you doing, buddy? ICT Vinny's in here as well. Sleepy Reader 666. That's Damien. Let's see, Manny the Comic Collector, hello. Let's see, Jay Nunya, hello. Copy 801, hello. From Heroes to Icons, hello. Scarpads Comics, hello. Trying to get all these in here. L Dub, hello. I think I got that one. Matthew King, hello. Craig 69, hello. Arosto, hello. Easy Reader, hello. Dylan's Comics is in here. That's awesome, man. He's very talented. He can do two things at once. Let's see. I think I got everyone so far. Ben Compton, there you go. Okay, I think I got everybody. If I missed you, my apologies. But I want to. Do you mind if I switch to another book real quick? Because Chip Zdarsky really liked this book. This is a book that came out this week, and I read this book. And that Texas Blood, he had a lot of good things to say about it. I love this book. I thought it was fantastic. I want to hear your guys' thoughts. Robbie, I'll go to you first this time.
I liked it. I thought it was good. It was a great setup, introducing the characters and a little bit of the situation. It's kind of, I described it as kind of like No Country for Old Men, just a little bit. It's got that neo-modern Western crime feel to it, but it seems like there's a tinge of the supernatural there. And it's very subtle. And so I think it's great. And what's crazy is that this is their first comic book. And you could not convince me of that. That's Sean Phillips' son. And his style is so different, but the composition, you can tell that he learned a lot from his father. It reads great. It's got great dialogue. It's got great nuanced moments. Even that moment in there, you guys know what I'm talking about, where it's like incredibly verbose for a couple of pages because the sheriff's telling a story.
Yeah.
But it's placed in such the right moment and in between more loose scenes that it just, the flow of the book is, it's expert level. It was masterful. It's got a great tone to it. I thought it was great. And if you like things like No Country for Old Men or the Coen Brothers True Grit and things like that, definitely got to check this out. I loved it.
Bob, what's your thoughts?
This was actually my pick of the week this week. I thought it was, absolutely masterful. I'd agree with you, Robbie. I would say that the setting would be like No Country for Old Men. But where this book placed me was right in the middle of a Coen Brothers movie. The dark comedy that was there, the whole thing with the casserole dish, just, I was cracking up so
Oh,
hard.
my God. That is totally a Coen Brothers thing, isn't it? Yeah.
Isn't it? And then juxtaposed against these grisly murders that happen. I'm a huge Coen Brothers fan. But really, you hit it on the nail, Robbie. The writing on it is master level. The whole way through, I was just grinning. I was like, I can sink my teeth into it. And I think my favorite thing about it is the fact that it's not going to be a miniseries. This is a brand new ongoing series.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm bummed my shop didn't get it, so I haven't read it yet. But I hear you guys definitely have made me want to.
It's the most common thing I hear Dylan say. My shop didn't get it.
Dylan's over 2 right now.
Hey, I know I have Daredevil. I just didn't read it.
Hey, Dylan, this is a good time to blame Diamond, bro, because they're messing up on many levels.
Hey, I can blame Diamond because every time my most look forward to book indie title, my shop didn't get Win, they didn't get Bleed Them Dry, so they've been screwing me. But yeah, if I could have got that, I would have got it. But my shop, it blew under the radar on me. But if my shop had it, I would have picked it up because I like those types of stories. I love No Country for Old Men and all that stuff and True Grit. But yeah, you guys know I have a big pull.
We all do, buddy.
I'll take your word for it, buddy. So this was actually my pick of the week as well. That Texas Blood. I saw it when I was putting together my preview video. I was like, oh, it looks interesting. I read the caption and stuff. And I thought that was kind of cool. And then I heard Robbie's review on Tuesday night about it, and I was like, yeah, I got to get it. So I was really hoping my shop would have it. And sure enough, they had a couple copies. They had this one. There was a variant cover as well. I didn't see that one. That one kind of has more of a little sci-fi tint to it as well. I really enjoyed just the slow conversation that the sheriff has at the very beginning of the book. Actually, like 2/3 of the book is like just a slow conversation he's having with multiple people at the convenience store, on his walkie-talkie, to his wife, all this stuff. And it's just like the banter back and forth between them. I really enjoyed that. I actually read the book out loud in a Texas accent voice. and Sam was sitting on the couch next to me while I did that. It was really weird. But it was so cool. I think Sam's like looking at me like, what are you doing? I'm just reading the book, you know. But just the whole casserole dish, you know, he's on a mission to go get a casserole dish from a neighbor or whatever for his birthday party that his wife is throwing. She's going to make him something to eat. And like, it's nonstop about the casserole dish. And then finally you get to this weird thing where, and this is full spoilers, by the way. So if you guys don't want to know, I'm sorry, but this is just the introduction book. So we're actually doing you a favor, kind of, you know, giving you some information for it. He's sitting around a campfire. Who is he with? I didn't know who he was with when he was around the campfire. Do you guys know?
That's actually not the sheriff in the car. It took me a while to catch that. That's a whole different person sitting at the campfire with another officer. And
okay.
So that's like a separate whole thing that's happening in the middle of the book.
Okay. I didn't catch on to that. I thought for sure that was the.
I thought it was a dream or something, and he was talking. He was talking to the former sheriff or something like that.
Yeah. Maybe something like in his past or something.
Yeah, I thought it was something in his past because he wakes up and he like talks about the dream, doesn't he, to his wife?
That's right. He does wake up. Yeah. It was kind of like just dropped right in the middle of it, and I mean, I had to really look at the fact that he didn't have a mustache. So that's a good point that it's, you know, from his past. So.
And there's a scene, I think it's in the very beginning, where there's a couple newspapers or whatever, and you can see a little bit of information that something happened to that sheriff before him or something like that. Yeah. So there's a mystery that they're building right there.
Come on.
I think it's got a supernatural tinge to it. I mean, it may not, but it definitely felt like it to me. But I don't know.
So why is that, Robbie? I kind of had the same thing, to be totally honest.
Well, wasn't it there in that dream? Wasn't it? Didn't he see something like some kind of God? I wish I had it. It's somewhere over there.
Like glowing. He's like glowing, and Skeletal walks up behind him.
Yeah.
And, basically has a shotgun and blows a hole into his chest.
Yeah, but it could all just be a dream or something. But it was the tone of the book is great. And why it reminds me so much of No Country is because it's like this could be the Tommy Lee Jones character in a way.
Yeah,
you know? Small town sheriff. He's getting up there in age and he's about to deal with something that he doesn't usually have to deal with, you know?
Right.
Allegedly.
Yeah, that kind of glowing character.
Yeah, that thing right there.
When I saw all those bubbles like that, I had flashbacks to issue 2 of 20XX. I was like, wait a minute. If anyone ever got that book, my God.
That was the last one I read, man. I've never had a book drop so far in quality from issue 1 to 2.
I didn't even bother. Once I heard, I was gone. So at the end, you know, as far as like, I kind of got the feeling that the guy who kind of offs himself wasn't really in control of what he was doing. Almost like there was something like maybe a little like, you know, science fiction type thing going on, something going on, supernatural stuff. I kind of got that feeling. Is that anything that you guys got?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. I mean, you know, he was talking with the younger man, and this ghost-like thing comes up behind him and basically blows a hole in his chest, and it was pretty creepy.
Definitely adding this to my pull list. And there's also a preview for another book in here. Do you guys see that? Did you guys check that out at all? The Ed Brubaker Pulp book.
Yes, I've seen that preview a few times. That looks good.
Yeah,
and that's actually a
graphic novel.
Yeah.
Whenever Brubaker and Phillips do something, it's good. It's going to be awesome. And if you like their work, I think you'll really like this book. It's almost as if they did a Western, but they have their own. They're not aping anybody's style or anything. It's a completely different thing, but it is similar.
That Pulp's going to be a graphic novel, though. You said that, right?
Yeah.
That's what I thought.
I love their work. Absolutely. Hands down.
Oh, it's great. It's great stuff. Their most recent 12-issue run on Criminal is amazing.
Yeah.
That was my first exposure to that.
Yeah, I've never read any Criminal before that. I've read Fatale. I've read Fade Out. I've only read some of Kill or Be Killed. I need to finish that one. That one started off really strong. So
I want to read the last word bubble of this book. It says, "Well, I found the casserole dish."
Yeah,
that's
right.
the last word bubble. Do you guys think there's something in that dish? Because it looks like it's. I'm looking at it like there might be something in there.
we know it's covered with blood. You know?
It's horrifying, man. It's horrible.
Yeah. There's somebody's brains in there or something, man.
There you go. So anyway, this was definitely my pick of the week. It sounds like Bob liked it a lot. I know that Robbie had a different pick of the week, but he liked this one quite a bit. And Dylan, unfortunately, missed out. So we're going to go to Dylan and say, Dylan, hey, you pick a book this time. Go ahead. What did you read? What did you enjoy this month? Not just this week, whatever this month.
Well, I'd say I did enjoy this. I wouldn't say it wouldn't be my pick of the week, but I thought this was really good. Year Zero, issue 2. I don't know. Did you read this one, Bueller?
You know what? Let me tell you something about that book.
Yeah.
I did not realize that they had sent me digital copies of all their books until last week. And I have digital copies of every issue from that company for like the first 5 issues of every title.
Yeah.
And I have to go through and read them.
Yeah, I just read Hotel Number 3 yesterday, and that one's going to be good.
Man, I think I only had they did the previews, but they're all black and white.
Yeah.
I just wanted to wait till they came out, man. So I think I only had issue 2 though, up to issue 2. But this was amazing, man. It's a lot different than like your average zombie book. I mean, I never read Walking Dead. I know the TV show though. But yeah, like the way Benjamin Percy kind of brings it from like just focusing on like a group of people in Atlanta, it goes like worldwide basis. Like there's a group of people in Mexico, group of that assassin in Japan, that crazy doomsday prepper.
Yeah.
That's never been laid in his life.
Dude, what a sad moment in issue 2,
man.
his whole thing, and he's just like, I just want to have somebody, and then at the end, spoilers again, everybody, but when he finally gets a response on the radio, and and then you got the lady that's in the Middle East somewhere or whatever, and like 4 completely different perspectives. It's a global take on the zombie pandemic, and this book does not read as strongly in black and white because the coloring is one of the biggest parts of this book. The artwork is crisp and clean, and it's detailed, and every panel has a background. Like they don't cheap out on it. It's all there. It looks gorgeous, but the coloring, they choose a different color palette for each situation and scene and character. So you instantaneously know where we're going. You know?
Exactly. I think most of the time they put Mexico City or Japan up top, but I swear you don't even need it because you can just differentiate it yourself. Like it's very well done. And I know a lot of people are big fans of Ben Percy from the X-Force book and the Wolverine. And he's got another AWA book coming, I think, next week.
Next week, Devil's Highway.
Yeah, I'm excited for that one too.
It's good. I've read it. It's good. Yeah.
Oh man, I'm super excited. I know I talked to AWA. They were supposed to start sending me out physical copies because I told them, I was like, I'll read the digital books, but it's like sometimes, man, it just takes me a while to get to them because I like physical. I was like, I will review your books because I pick them up anyways. I was like, and I'll just give them away when I'm done with them, But I was like, if you want me to do reviews, I was like, I will just get it done quicker, if I have it physical. Because sometimes even when I read it digital, I just don't grasp it as well. I'll read it physical, and I'm like, man, this was so much better than when I read it on digital. I don't know. But, yeah, not my pick of the week, but still a really amazing book.
Yeah.
Is that a book that's in you said is the zombie apocalypse already happened, or is it happening? Or
it's happening.
Happening. Okay, so it's in the very beginning stages.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And what type of zombies are we looking at? Like just the slow zombies or the 28 days later zombies?
We've only seen 2 zombies so far.
Yeah.
They haven't been.
That's it.
They've been in close quarters, and so we haven't been able to see if they're runners or walkers yet.
Oh, dude, that reminds me, that priest zombie, that's so creepy. So creepy.
They find one that's in Antarctica, I believe, like frozen in a block of ice. And that's where I think it all starts.
Yeah, that's probably why they put that in there.
They also have something really cool, like in the back, though, where it's like the Da Vinci Code is kind of like involved in it. Isn't that what is that, Robbie? What would you say? I think it was something because they showed the Da Vinci Code in the first one, like, or is that wrong? Like that
Oh,
circle.
you're talking about where they show the what is it, the Vitruvian Man or whatever? Yeah.
Is that right? I don't know if I just sounded dumb there, but
No, I think it's in there. I don't remember it though, but I read a lot. But
it was in the first issue when they showed like the guy in the middle of the circle and
are they alluding to the idea that this has happened before? Maybe.
Yeah.
That would make sense, especially with them digging up the like the Neanderthal or early human or whatever it was at the beginning in the ice block. Made me think of that Iceman movie. You guys remember that?
Yeah.
Back in the day.
I don't know.
Dylan didn't remember that one.
Oh, what is it called? Iceman?
Iceman.
I've seen the Iceman, but
it's about Bobby Drake and they find him in the ice.
I don't think I recall that one. They don't show like in full speed, but I bet you they're going to be like regular. I don't think they're going to be slow. I'm sure they're going to be able to somewhat chase you down.
I like slow zombies, but I don't mind fast zombies. But if they're going to be fast zombies, I want it to make sense, and I want them to start off fast and then wind up getting slower. Wouldn't that make sense? Look at that right there, though. That dude, yeah. Oh, man, and she's like, that's the great thing is the book's not even about the zombies. It's about the people. This woman, she's in the Middle East, and she's got to, like, work with these American military people, and then one of them gets killed and turns into zombies, so they're going to think that it was her. You know, and dude, there's the priest. I love that one.
I know, they just shot that preacher in the head.
Yep.
And then at that particular point, after they take out the priest, that's when she basically says that life is never going to be the same again. Basically, time starts here, which is why they call it Year Zero.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I thought that was cool when they put that.
There's one thing that does concern me about this book, though, and that's that we have these 4 very separate stories. And we're getting a glimpse into each one of those areas across the globe. My concern is this only a 5-part series?
Yeah.
And they introduced like a whole other location with the polar location with the Neanderthal, and so now we got 5 locations. I'm kind of concerned about how they might be able to tie this together, or if maybe it's a launching point. I don't know, but I'm concerned that trying to bring that all together in a 5-issue series, with as slow as each one of the stories has been, it's just something to definitely think about.
It could definitely, it could wind up like that, but like I was surprised because Resistance, I was like, how is JMS going to do this in 6 issues? And then they just announced that they're doing more coming up, like more series tied in that world. So maybe they're going to let Benjamin do that. Otherwise, I think the big thing is that each person in each setting is going to have a piece of the puzzle, so that us as the readers will be able to figure out kind of like how it started or what's exactly going on or something like that, I think.
I sure hope so. I really do. But really, you talk about Year Zero. I've been loving all of these AWA Upshot books.
They're strong, man.
They're very strong, and I'm enjoying them.
Hotel Number 2
I've been picking
was one of my favorites this month too. I loved Hotel Number 2.
Oh, yeah.
That one blew me away.
I'm really like bummed now. I want to read that issue 3. I'm so jealous of you right now, dude, because I loved Hotel 2. That's my favorite. I'm like, really, if any of them were to get a volume 2, I really hope Hotel does, because it's like 4 issues, man. I need more. I need more than that.
It's a good structure. A question
here. Do we think any of the AWA series will continue, like a volume 2 or volume 3? Have any of you guys heard anything on that?
I mean, I could see Year Zero getting one, and just like Hotel, I really think they could do a volume 2 for Hotel, like no doubt. He could go so far with that, and he's done other anthology horror stories like Sink, the same writer. So he definitely can pull more out. And with that Hotel, you could do so many limitless stories, So I definitely think so. I think they're just at their launching point, so they're just trying to see what works and see what people like, but they got some strong stories they're coming out of the gate with. So
now we know that they are doing more of the Resistance, because the Resistance is going to be 6 issues. And then they just announced a spin-off of that. So yeah, he's doing like a series. And then there's another book that gets referenced in Resistance number 2, which is not the series, that because it's like find out more in this series, but that's not the series that's been announced, right? And that's something JMS kind of does. I remember what was in his Spider-Man run, he like teases, oh, find out more about this scene in Doctor Strange, and then that didn't happen for freaking years, you know. But we know they're doing more Resistance, so I think it will depend on the sales. But I also think that a lot of the indie companies right now are really focusing on like the smaller, like 5-6 issue series, and it gives you a nice thing to like to sell to like a company that wants to make a movie or a TV show or something like that.
Yeah.
But Year Zero would be a great one to continue on, depending on how it wraps up. There's 3 issues to go, and there's a lot of work to do, but we'll see.
Yeah.
I've noticed I haven't seen a lot of these books at LCSs. You know, the ones that have come out. I don't think a lot of comic shops are actually ordering these books. So if they're ones that people want to get, you gotta let your comic shop know, because the AWA, they're putting out really quality titles right now. I mean, every single one of their titles that they've done, I think they've only done like 5 or 6. They're all really good. They're all good stories. All the reviews on them have just been fantastic. And I just haven't seen them. Like my LCS, I don't think I've seen any of them there, to be totally honest.
Yeah, I had to pre-order almost everything from Tifa dealer, and they've been able to get them in. I think there's another 5 or 6 titles that are slated to come out in the next couple of months.
Yeah.
I'm looking
That
forward to
Bad Mother is coming.
Yeah,
which is like a Breaking Bad.
Last week, Old Haunts. I really enjoyed that one too.
Me too.
Great story.
It seems like unless you have it on your pull and you're pre-ordering it ahead of time, I have not seen any extras like just floating around really, and it's a bummer because I want more people to see this stuff because they're just launching, so that this is a company that needs to be heard right now. Especially they launched like what was it, a couple weeks before?
Yeah, right
so
before.
They definitely need people to start reading this stuff. And I told my shop, I was like, anything they have coming out, I want it because I'm giving it a shot no matter what. And everything, I have not wanted to drop anything. The only one I haven't read yet was Resistance 2. I read the first one and I liked it. So
Red Border number 2 was another good one. That one was good.
I haven't read issue 2 of that either. So but I know you said that was even better. So
it was better than the first one.
Yeah, so I got really excited because I'm actually going to read those tonight.
Hell yeah.
I'm excited.
So, Robbie, we'll go to you next. You have what are some of your favorite books? Go ahead and pick one for the month of June.
Here is my favorite book of the month. It's Ice Cream Man number 19. I feel like I've said that before. My favorite book of the month was Ice Cream Man, and they just keep doing it. They just keep doing it. Every book is on its own. If you've never read an issue of Ice Cream Man, don't worry. You can just pick this up and read it. It's amazing. They are unnerving as hell. No book makes me feel the way that the creative team wants me to feel like Ice Cream Man. And it's not necessarily a good feeling. And also each issue is like super innovative. And this issue is called like How to Be a Ghost or something like that. And it's basically apparition. Yeah, and it's basically an owner's an owner's manual of how to do something. And it just goes step by step by step, and it is absolutely brilliant, amazing. This book is like probably the best book on shelves right now because each issue stands on its own. A lot of comics attempt that. Nobody pulls it off quite like Ice Cream Man. There is an overall story if you're reading the whole thing, but it's so subtle. And it's not even the biggest thing. The Ice Cream Man himself is not the most important thing. Each story stands on its own. Each story stands on its own in style as well. Even though Martin Morazzo and Chris O'Halloran on the coloring, the art team is amazing. It's like a simple but textured kind of line work, and the coloring in this book was mostly in black and white. But even when it's typically colored, it's like this sickly sweet color palette. The books are they're about the human experience. It's about depression, anxiety. It's about hope and despair and the road between them. And it's not always a book that makes you feel bad. There are plenty of issues where you're like, oh, wow, that kind of gave me a little bit of hope for humanity and for my life situation and things like that. But it does it in a very real and grounded way, but still being otherworldly and incredibly chilling. Ice Cream Man is my favorite book of the month, number 19. That's one of my favorite issues of the series yet.
It's one of the best series out there, like, period. So,
yep. You're welcome, Dylan, by the way.
Thank you. I went. Yeah, seriously. That's one I'm so glad. Like, people all the time want to find that. I'm like, man, I got so lucky. My boy Robbie hooked me up.
Do you guys read it up there? I know Bob does, right?
Yeah, I definitely have read it. When I first started collecting again, I kept hearing about Ice Cream Man. I heard it on your show multiple times. Damien Sleepy Reader 666 has mentioned it a number of times. And so I was apprehensive about hopping onto it because it's like, here's another, 15 issues I got to try to read to catch up. But everybody kept saying that you can just hop right in wherever it's at and you'll be fine. And I got to tell you, I picked up one issue and I was blown away, absolutely blown away. I have since gone back and read every single issue. And, now when it comes into my box, sometimes I don't, think about what's coming out this week. And when it's there, I just have a huge smile on my face because I know it's going to be freaking good.
Yeah.
This was an amazing issue. How amazing is it? You can take an owner's manual at 3 different parts of life, talking about being a ghost, and not just a supernatural ghost, but also in the physical, that whole understanding of sometimes you can be invisible to everybody around you.
Yes.
So well done. And he does, I can't think of who's the writer that does this, Robbie? What's his name?
W. Maxwell Prince.
Maxwell Prince. He does his writing. He does this thing where no matter what it is that he's writing, he writes on a level that makes everybody relate to it, and then he really digs in. It's so good. I love this book. It's one of my favorite of the month every month now, for sure.
This book claws its way into my soul every time I read it. I'm not even kidding. It finds its way in. It sticks with me. I have recommended this book to so many people, and the majority of them will read it, and they'll come back and they'll look at me and be like, "You recommended Ice Cream Man?" I'd be like, "Yeah." They'd be like, "That book really bothered me. That book unnerved me. It made me think about my life. It made me think about why I do things." And I was like, "Oh, I'm sorry, man." He's like, "It gave me nightmares." This one person was like, "It gave me nightmares." And I was like, "I'm sorry." And he's like, "No. That was awesome. This book was awesome." But it's got great subtext on it. It's how to be a ghost. And the other thing Prince does is it's never predictable. You never know where one of these stories is going to go and how it's going to wind up. And just absolutely phenomenal, man.
Look at this comment right here. Sean says, just called my LCS and put every AWA book on the list.
I saw that. That's
awesome, man.
So
well, I hope you like them.
You let them know we sent you.
Exactly.
Royalties, right?
Use the code Bueller, get 10% off. There you go. How about that?
All right. Give them the Bueller code.
Well, I haven't added it to my poll list yet. And I actually redid my poll list. I'm going to give it to him. I typed it all out and stuff because there's some books I'm dropping and some I'm adding because some I don't need to have anymore. And it's on my list. I just haven't gave it to them yet. And every time I go in, it's sold out. Every time it's not sitting on the shelf. They didn't have any extra copies of Ice Cream Man. I read the first issue because I found the Image Dollar book or whatnot, the reprint that they do. Yeah. It's awesome. It's so good, man. I mean, I heard all your reviews that Robbie did on them and stuff. And then I read the first one. And I like the fact that they are just standalone books for the most part. As far as I understand, each one is its own story, correct?
Yes.
And that's why aren't they making a TV series out of this because of that? Because they can make like a Twilight Zone or something like that.
Yeah, they are. It got picked up for something. I don't remember where, but yeah. And it leads itself to. I don't know if you can capture cinematically or on television what the comic book conveys. That's going to be really interesting to see if they can pull it off.
For
the
sure.
disappointing thing was that this got picked up by there's this app, but it's only you can only watch these shows on your phone. It's like some new app where you can only watch it on your phone. I don't remember it off the top of my head, but I was like, I looked it up and that's what Ice Cream Man got launched for. And I was like, really, man, I want to see this on the TV, but yeah, I mean, any way I can see it, but it was like, damn, because you got to pay for that app too. And it's like, how many times do we all watch, TV shows or movies on our phone, So
Yeah.
I guess you watch it on your iPad or something, that would be better. But yeah, I was like, darn, I was really hoping like Shudder or something would pick it up. Yeah, Quibi. Thank you, Comic Crazy. That's what it was.
Yeah,
called.
it is Quibi. Yeah.
Yeah.
Quibi. What is? I don't even know what that is.
Exactly. It's probably some kind of TikTok thing. I don't know what the hell that is.
Here's the with the Ice Cream Man, issue number 1 spiked in value, so it's going for like 50, 60, I don't know, 50, 60 bucks. But like I said, you can get the Image first number 1 issues. They're only $1, and it's the full issue. Just get that one. It's only $1 and read it. And if not that one, then just go ahead and buy the trades because it's going to be kind of a hard series to get caught up with. But just buy the trades or get the $1 first issue and just go from there, because that's what I'm doing. I think Bob has all the trades. I think I gotta borrow them from him and read them. But it's
I
a
got
good
that $1 issue too, and then I was like,
I love dollar issues.
I know, me too. And
I don't know what the sales figures are like overall, but at least in my shop, like each issue outsells the previous one.
Yeah.
Like more people are getting into this book as it goes. And that's not something you see so often on a book that's about to hit 20 issues.
What title does that remind you of? Come on, Robbie. Walking Dead.
Oh, Walking Dead. I was like, what are you talking about? Walking Dead? Yeah.
Yeah. Every issue sold more than the previous issue.
Yeah. You are right. That's why number 1, there was only like 6,000 or something of them.
Yeah.
Something like that.
And a bunch of them got ripped apart.
It's crazy too. Now with no Walking Dead, man, Ice Cream Man could take it, They are.
It's not that level because Walking Dead had the TV show, right? So.
Oh, true. Well,
but Image is missing that. I bet that's why they're doing that Negan Lives book.
Yeah,
definitely. They definitely are.
But they're not making money off that. They're sending that to shops for free, so that's actually kind of cool.
Yeah.
That is. Did
you have a limit to how many you could order, Robbie?
How many I can order? What?
Of the Negan Lives?
They didn't. No, it didn't work that way. They sent us how many they thought we would need. I think it's based on an average of Walking Dead numbers or something like that. So they're. But if you want more, you can get more, but you have to pay for them.
That SOS, my shop didn't even get. So how did that work?
They just sent those. That was a freebie. Really? Yeah, they sent those to shops. I don't know what they based it on, but they sent us like a decent chunk, but not like a super. They probably sent like the average of because Aftershock stuff doesn't sell as well as things like The Walking Dead, obviously. So we got a lot of the Negan Lives ones coming in. But yeah, that one I don't remember how many we got of SOS, but we had enough to go around to the people that were interested in it.
Very cool.
And that was a good one this month too. I really enjoyed that. It like touched my heart. I was like, "Aw, I appreciate you."
Hey, Bob, we're going to go to you next. What was one of your favorite books of the month?
So here's one that really surprised me because I wasn't on the first series. This was my pick of the week, either last week or the week before, and that is Nailbiter Returns.
Oh, yeah. I've never read the original series either.
I love Williamson's writing. I love what he's done on The Flash, and there's other stuff that I've read by him as well. I love Henderson. I love his artwork. Of course, I know him from Daredevil and Old Man Logan, or Dead Man Logan. And I had heard about Nailbiter, but I had never actually read the book. And I was told that I should be able to just hop right into this one, and I did. And I was so taken by it, I immediately went out after I read it and got the previous 40 issues to read because I freaking loved this. This was amazing. Great stuff.
I just asked my shop because he had one copy left. I couldn't even believe he had ordered it because he never, if you don't order an indie book, you don't get it. Because he doesn't order it, or, the one other guy might order it and that's all he's got. So it's really a bummer. But once in a while, I tell him, I'm like, dude, if you order some of these books, it's like, I will test them out. I was like, so you're going to make your money, but he just doesn't do it. And it sucks because I would have got that Texas Blood. It's like, especially sometimes they'll order an extra Image book, but he had that and he mentioned, because I saw Return. So I was like, but I saw Williamson first. So that gravitated to me. Then the cover. you know, and you guys know I'm big into horror. So I was like, what is this about? And he started telling me about the original series. And I was like, oh, so it's a sequel. I was like, can I just jump into it? And he was like, I don't know. So I just bought it because I was like, well, it's the last issue. I was like, what's the worst that can happen? If I don't understand it, you know, a couple bucks I'm missing, but I loved it, man. It was really good. I love Williamson. Sad thing too, I didn't get my 753 issue or 754, The Flash, because his diamond messed up, and then he didn't get my 756 issue that just came out. So when I called to ask him about it, it's on back order, and now I had to drop it because he can't get it for me. And I'm like, so what about 753 and 754? Oh, you might have to see about the shop down the street. I was like, what do you mean? I'm like, so you can't? I was like, so now I'm just screwed. So now I have a huge, like, I'm missing 2 issues. And I know I was bummed when it, like you were saying the other day on that stream, when they went from 75 to 750 or whatever. So I would have liked to have 1 through 100. And now I was bummed about that because I'm loving what he's doing on The Flash. So now I got to get the last series or last arc by Williamson probably on trade, because I'm not going to be able to track down those issues. It's just too much of a pain. So, but yeah,
let me know which ones you're looking for, Dylan. Just send me a message and let me know which ones.
I will, but then I won't be able to get. I gotta re-add it to the poll because he took me off because I was like, dude, what the hell?
Robbie knows people. I can get books.
That he does. But I couldn't. Well, I guess
I might have to get it through Midtown, but I'll get it.
That's why I couldn't believe that he couldn't get it. But I guess because there's a first appearance, a Legion of Zoom, they couldn't get it. But whatever. It's not the end of the world about now getting to read Flash. But I was like, I couldn't believe when he said it. He's like, you might have to check down the street for those 2 issues. I'm like, what? I'm like, you got to get those for me, bro. It's like I ordered them through you, and he just skipped them. Like, I don't know how it went from 752 to 755. I'm like, yo, I'm missing 2 somewhere, bro. But
they've been coming out like it feels sometimes like every week there's a new issue of Flash.
Yeah.
I was like, how? I was like, am I missing 2 issues or something? And he's like, I guess. He's like, I know everybody didn't get 754. Because he's like, I know everybody didn't get 754. And I was like, well, I didn't get 753 either, bro. But
it feels like it's coming out every week right now because
it really
comes out every 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And between 755 and 756, we had that annual that came out last week. So we got last 3 weeks.
Right? Seriously.
Look at this comment. Comic Crazy said, just purchase Texas Blood on Comixology. Thanks for the read suggestion.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Did you put in
we're making other people money tonight, folks. That's what we're doing.
I hope you put in the Ghost Thrasher code.
Ghost Thrasher code. Pay 10% more with the Ghost Thrasher code.
Make sure when you give that book a rating, you say this panel sent you, so they can reach out to us and start sending us some money for all this money we're making them.
Yeah, there you go.
I only read the first couple issues of the initial Nail Biter. I always intended on getting back into it, but so I didn't read that one because I just didn't. I felt like I would be lost and whatever. Yeah. I should have picked it up just for the hell of it anyway. But he does another one at Image that's really good called Birthright. That's another one that's really, really good. That's kind of nearing its end. So
I heard of that one.
That's a good one.
I gotta check that in trade.
Yeah, how far along is Birthright? Because that's kind of like many issues in, right?
Yeah, it's in the 40s, I think, right now.
Yeah, and that's why I haven't touched that one because it's just there's too many of them. But I heard that it's really good, so eventually I'll collect the trades.
Artwork's solid too, and the story's really great.
All right. Well, I'm going to say probably one of my favorite books of the month, and let me know if you guys read this one. I don't have the book. I actually read it digitally. And the shop never had a copy for me to get it. But Join the Future #2 came out by Aftershock Comics. And I kid you not, man, I was blown away from the first issue. The first issue ends with basically a slaughter of a whole village, okay? Yeah. And you don't know who has survived. You're actually introduced in the first issue to this family, and you think it's going to be the whole family that kind of carries on into the second issue. No, they don't make it. Only one of the family members make it, the daughter, and she's on the cover of the second issue. she's the only one that survives, and she has to bury her little brother, her dad, her grandfather, and a bunch of other people as well. Yeah. And like, it sets it up for a huge revenge story about this city it's a utopia is what it is. It's a technically advanced city it's a huge city in the world. I don't understand. Here's the thing about this book that I really find intriguing. I don't understand why you wouldn't want to be a part of that city, because it looks like the other option is really horrible in comparison. And it's not like they don't want you to be part of the city. They're trying to get everyone to join the city, to come on in here, to live a perfect life, to have whatever they want, and I don't see the downside. I'm hoping that as it goes on, you see what that is and why there's some people who decide not to go and join. That's probably the biggest hook on the book, and that's why I like it so much. But Join the Future #2, if you haven't checked it out, by Aftershock Comics, it was surprising how good this book is, and it's beautiful as well. The artwork is awesome. I know some of you other guys read it as well, so let's hear from you. Whoever wants to jump in.
I loved it. I thought it was a bummer. It was a bummer to get that cliffhanger and then have to wait like 3 months or so to get it. But man, that was another one. Like you said, the artwork is absolutely like beautiful, and it works so well. But yeah, it kind of, we got a lot of those Westerns. I know Robbie reads it, as do I, that Undone by Blood, which is another awesome revenge story, because, Join the Future, you didn't know where it was going. It just left you hanging after that first issue. And then how issue 2 sets it up, you're like, oh, man, this girl's about to go at these guys, man. So I love that issue. It was really good. And man, I'm so down for it. It was definitely, I'm glad you mentioned that, because it was one of my favorites of this month as well. And I'm really excited for issue 3. I can't believe you didn't get issue 2, because you got it, or I'm physical, because that's a book, man. Just that artwork is so well done that
it is a beautiful book. And here's the thing, like Hermione is no digital Bueller. So I get a lot of books sent to me digitally, and I read them digitally. And then I'll try to pick them up at my shop, but a lot of times they don't get them, because I didn't have that one on my pull list at the time, so that's why I didn't get a copy of it. But I added it to it, but I'll still receive them digitally. So I read them ahead of time. Most of the books I read are about a week before they actually hit the stores, which is kind of nice. And I know exactly which ones I want to buy and which ones I want to save my money. But I do want to say, Robert, the Comic Book G-Spot, with the $5 super chat, my first super chat of the month. I only done like one other live stream. So he says, awesome stuff, gentlemen. Hit that like button, everyone. Love you guys. Thank you, Robert. Robert's a good dude. Awesome. Thank you so much.
Robert is the best.
And Robbie, let's hear from you, man. I know you like this book.
Yeah, I loved it. I thought it was great. It's a great story. Zach Kaplan, the writer, he sends me the preview copies digitally, just like you get, I get. And I actually got to read this before the shutdown, because it was supposed to come out like in April or something like that, right?
I didn't know that.
Right.
That's
so I read it, and I had to wait like 3 months to talk about it, and that was kind of like, ugh. But I really like the book. It's a great story. It's a great idea. Like, why are they not cool? Because, I mean, you just look around today, there are plenty of people that want to go off and live off the grid and do their own way of life. And the thing, I guess the problem with the city, and yeah, it's like a utopia. There's a universal basic income. You get to live a life of leisure. They take care of everything. You've got health care provided. You've got food provided, all that kind of stuff. Seems like a sweet deal. But I guess the biggest problem is that you got to join them. You got to join them. That's the biggest problem. Whenever someone says you have to do this, nah, dude, I'm out. I don't want to do that. There are plenty of people that you see in society that don't want to go along with anything, right? But just the idea of their response, there's something fishy. The price of progress is really, really high. And I think that's what this book is doing. And it does a great job, I think, in the first issue especially, of presenting these two ways of life. But the story itself, the writer, Zach Kaplan, is not making a judgment on which is the best way.
Exactly.
Yeah. And he's just laying it out there for you. And I'm really, really excited to see what's to come, because sci-fi Western revenge story, bruh, come on, man.
True, man. True.
And it's brutal. That ending was brutal. And I'm like, this is what after issue number 1, I was like, okay, this is what's going to happen. The kid's going to still be barely alive. She's going to have to go to the city to use their medical facilities, right? Issue 2 starts. No, that kid is dead, homie.
Yeah.
It's just like, what?
Him out.
It's okay. That's kind of dark.
I was surprised by that. I mean, they put some time into that kid on the first issue.
Yes.
You know, as far as him like thinking about why don't we join the city? How come we haven't done that? You know, that's kind of something that's in his mind. Yeah. And then at the end of the issue, they're wiped out. You know, and it kind of took me back when I saw the first page of the second issue. I was like, man, nobody made it. Nobody made it. I was a little surprised. We got another super chat from Sean. Thank you, said. Here's to you, buddy. Thank you so much, Sean. Appreciate that. That's awesome. We got $7. That's enough for a chalupa box and an extra soft taco. That's awesome. I appreciate that.
With maybe a Baja Blast.
We can all get chalupa boxes by the end of the night. That'd be awesome. Bob, you read it. Did you like it?
I did not.
You didn't read it?
No, I got shorted by our LCS.
Damn, we just spoiled it for Bob.
But what ends up happening? When did issue 2 come out?
I want to say like.
I got it written down. It came out on the 10th.
Yeah. What ends up happening with Tifa is if they get shorted, they'll go back to Diamond and they'll reorder. And they'll try to get it back in. If I don't see it the next week, then chances are they can't get it. And so that's one that I'm going to have to definitely go outside of our LCS to grab up. I'm definitely going to get it because I got issue 1, but I wasn't able to read it, guys.
If you can't find it, I know a guy. Just let me know.
Sounds good, man.
I know a guy literally got him on the shelf. So
yeah. He knows a guy that works at a shop.
He ordered a lot of independent comics.
I can hook you up with a digital copy, Bob. How about that?
That would be awesome. Anytime. Digital
Bob. There's another great comment here. I wanted to read this really quick. Said Andrew Chandler said, I think all 4 of you guys should do more videos together. The advice and tips you guys have for new reads is awesome, especially when some people can't get their regular pull list. Well, thank you so much, Andrew. You know what? I will say these about these other gentlemen here. We read a lot of comic books. Robbie's probably the most. By far, he reads the most out of all of us. And when we sit here and talk about comic books, we're talking about the pure love and enjoyment for the story and the books themselves. I can't really speak for the other gentlemen, but I think we're kind of in the same ballpark. We really don't do a lot of speculation on the books. We just really like to have the books and read them and enjoy the story, and that's what we really enjoy. The fact that they might be worth some money is just kind of a bonus to it, to be totally honest. But we just like to get the books, read them, talk about them, and kind of go from there. So I just wanted to point that out really fast. We got a couple more people in here. Bearded Comic Bro, what's going on, my friend? We got Chaos and Comics is in here. How you doing, Chaos? Appreciate you stopping by. And we got another super chat from Fable Mob. Get some fries too. This should be a new show. There you go. Awesome. So what is that? What are we up to? 5, 6, 7? That's 2 chalupa boxes right there. So right now we're up to 2 chalupa. So Bob, you can get one.
Nice.
Hey, we've been gone so long they forgot that we've done this show before.
Yeah. It's a monthly show.
It was for like the first 2 months. It was a monthly show, and then there was no new comics coming out.
But I would love nothing more than do more shows with you guys, because nothing is better than when we do shows. We have so much fun.
Good stuff. We got Punisher 268 says, got a lot of people in here. Yeah, we got about 75 people watching right now. Thank you so much, everybody. This is a lot of fun. Let's see. Superpower Review. Hello, how are you doing? Very cool. So who's up next? I mean, I think we all agree. Sorry, we spoiled it for Bob because he didn't get it. I thought he did. I feel kind of bad.
That kid is dead, Bob.
But just for that, who's up next for one of their favorite books of the month? Is it you? Would it be Dylan? I think it's Dylan's turn.
I think it's Dylan.
I guess so. It's a hard one for one. If it's one of my favorites, because I do have others probably. I think I'd say it just came out. I really did love that Killer Smile, but it'd either be like this or Thor. I think I'd say this one, man. I love this book. It was so good. And I just want to talk and see what you guys thought about it. I don't know. I know you've been reading this, Bueller, because you love Batman. Dude, like just like everything that happened, it felt like it was so tense. You know what I'm saying? Like everything that went down, you're just like jaw dropped, and I couldn't believe it. And I loved it, man. Like I've been loving this whole run. In each issue, Tinian just gets better and better. Should we talk spoilers on it, or should we hold off on that? I don't know.
Dude, we just spoiled freaking Join the Future for Bob. We can spoil that.
That came out June 10th, so but yeah, like finding out that the designer is being controlled by the Joker was crazy, because I mean, you knew he was killed by the Joker, but you never know with all the I can't think of what's that that green water that they'll dip themselves into to bring themselves back, that Ra's al Ghul.
The Lazarus Pit.
Yes, thank you, bro. I couldn't think of it. It's on the tip of my tongue. But yeah, man, to see him controlling it with that little remote control, I don't know how he did it, but either way, man. And to see Punchline, man, fighting Harley Quinn and dude, Catwoman, man, like, dude, it just showed that Punchline might be more than just a little, side character, that she might be the real deal. And that was cool to see. I mean, it's always cool to see a new character come in that might be a valuable asset to DC and not just be a character that gets thrown in the mud, by the end of next year, So I'm a huge Batman guy. I mean, Batman was probably the first superhero I ever was introduced to. So I just always got a soft spot for anything Batman, and I've been loving this, man.
Yeah, I've been loving it too.
Let me tell you, does the designer kind of look like an old-time G.I. Joe villain?
Doesn't he, though? Yeah.
He does. I look at his profile, especially that he was on that book, the one that just came out on that 1 in 25. I'm looking at the cover. I'm like, that definitely looks like an old-time G.I. Joe cartoon comic book villain.
He reminds me of that mixed with like Baron Zemo. Like he feels like the Baron Zemo of the DC universe. And my boy Professor Bill actually said that. But when he said that, I totally agreed. I don't want to steal knowledge from the man, so I'll throw that out there. That I heard it from him. But once you saying that G.I. Joe, like I was thinking that myself, because he does, like with those pants and the boots.
Yeah, very much so. Well, this issue was very packed with action.
Yeah.
And we all love some action. The artwork in it is fantastic. That's one of the best things. I'm a huge fan of James Tinian. All his work that he's doing. Well, I can't, you know what? I take that back. There's a certain book that just came out that I wasn't a huge fan of. And actually, we might talk about that in a little bit. But as far as his Batman run and this Something Is Killing the Children books.
Oh, yeah.
They're both two different types of books, and they're both amazing right now. And we are blessed to have this guy working on a big name character and then his small independent character, so you can see everything that he puts out there. One of the best series going on, one of the best writers going on right now as well.
I'm glad you mentioned that, because issue 7 actually came out of Something's Killing the Children. I would have forgot about that. That's one I definitely love to talk to you guys about, because that was an incredible issue.
The thing I really like about Tinian's Batman run is that it starts off and you're like, this is okay. This is an okay, solid Batman story. Mm-hmm. And then you get all the Punchline hype, right? And then that's kind of obnoxious. It's kind of annoying, because you're like, oh, there's a new Harley. Oh, goodness gracious me. Like, blah, blah, blah. This book got so much better as it was going. Yeah. And like those seeds were sown in the first issue, like 85, 86, whatever it was. And this was an 8-part story, and it's all set up for the Joker War. And, and Tinian has had his run had to change, because initially, they were going to do the 5G stuff, and he was just supposed to write this book to 100. And the reason why he's doing the Joker Wars, he's basically supposed to be telling the final battle between the Joker and Batman. But now, of course, 5G's been lifted. That's not happening, and now he's going full ahead. And the book exceeded the hype to me. Do you know what I'm saying? I almost wish the Punchline hype hadn't happened yet, so that people could be just surprised and blown away. by the character. When she appeared, we had that Joker 80th anniversary special, which, by the way, that was phenomenal. I thought that was the best out of all of those specials they've done so far. Her origin story, her appearance in 92 and in 93, the fight with Harley. I'm really into this character, and everything was set up for me to not be into this character.
Yeah.
They nailed it with the hype. The story itself, though, is exceeding the hype on Punchline. And the reason why I think the book has taken off so well is not just the Punchline stuff or the designer stuff or the Clown Hunter stuff that's coming up, but the fact that it's just a great story. And it starts off, it's so deceiving at first because you're like Deathstroke and Merlin and Cheshire. Okay, sure. No, this has been great. And I love it's referencing the 60s Batman movie with the Underworld United and all that stuff. I absolutely love it. And I freaking called it on one of my videos. I don't know if it was a live stream or if it was something, but I said after the issue where they initially meet, they show how they meet with the designer initially, and they have that conversation with them, and Joker's in there forever, right? At that moment, I was like, the designer's dead. I was like, the designer's dead. The Joker, this is the Joker the whole time. And yeah. And like you, and real quick, Beeler, you said we're not really spec guys, and that's true. But I will say this: if you buy every pick of the week from me, usually those books wind up being the spec books. Just saying, because
What?
I'm just saying.
Pick of the week.
That was a nice
Yeah,
part.
that Dark Knight Metal that's going to be a big time spec book. They didn't make any.
Well, if you bought every pick of the week of mine, you'd have Something's Killing the Children, number 1. You'd have Once and Future, number 1. You'd have Red Mother, number 1. There you go. Just saying.
Hey, Death Metal, first appearance of T-Rex Batman. That's going to be a big one there. That's going to be a big one. Anyone think of Tammy and the T-Rex when you heard of Batman putting his consciousness into a T-Rex, a robotic T-Rex?
I don't know what that is.
You never heard of that? It was Paul Walker and Denise Richards. It's the goofiest movie where Paul Walker gets his consciousness transferred into a robotic T-Rex. It's not a good movie, so it's nothing you know. But yeah, I was actually getting mad about all the Punchline hype because there were certain books I wasn't able to get. I'd have to get the second print or something because I'm just a huge Batman fan. I actually was like, man, people are sleeping on the designer. Just shut up about Punchline. But after 93, because people were just going nuts. So I was like, man, even books she wasn't in, they were selling out. I'm like, she's not even in it. I'm like, fucking chill out, guys. But I thought designer was getting slept on because I thought he's a cool character. He's something interesting about him. But now, I'm all in for Punchline because after that fight with Harley and what she did to Catwoman, I'm like, wow. I was like, plus I think is it 92 where she's like, it's that one sheet of just her and she's got Joker's goons right behind her. It's that one big panel. I'm like, man, she's good looking, man. Like, damn,
they're definitely drawing her well endowed. I'll tell you that.
They are. She's good though, man. I like her. I'm all in for her.
So let's hit, since we're on let's hit his other title. Let's hit Something That's Killing the Children, number 7. Came out this month. Came out on the 10th of this month. We get a little bit deeper into Erica Slaughter and who she's associated with. And this is such a cool thing because at the beginning of the series, I wasn't sure if it was a limited series or not. And this is an ongoing series. This keeps on going. They're going to do a lot more with this character. We've wrapped up the first storyline. It's still going to have ties to what's going on in the future, but we're getting to know more about who she's with, what group she's involved in, and it sounds like she's going to be moving on to another adventure or whatever you want to slaughter or whatever you want to call it. But this is also another one of our favorite books. I'm pretty sure we're all on board. Bob, you read number 7, right?
Yeah, I did. Actually, wasn't it going to be a limited series, and then they decided afterwards to keep it going because of the popularity?
Yes.
I kind of feel like that's what happened. I think originally it was supposed to be 5, and it kind of got tied up very nicely, and then they continued it. I think it's amazing. I loved the original story arc. Now that they're kind of, you're watching the town kind of reel from what happened in that first arc, and now we're starting to find out more about the group, the Slaughterhouse group, and I'm really excited to see where it's going next. I think right now he's doing just more setup than anything else, and I think he kind of slowed down just a little bit, but I've enjoyed just every second of it. I think he's such a good writer, and Something's Killing Children is definitely one of my favorite books that comes out every month.
I agree.
Great book, great art, great composition, great. Tynion has really blossomed as a writer this last year. He used to be a very overly verbose writer that kind of handled the exposition issues that Scott Snyder didn't want to write. You know what I'm saying? And he's really blossomed into his own. And I think Something is Killing the Children is a big deal to that, because Del Edera's artwork gives him the space to be able to like make the dialogue flow a lot better. And that coloring, everything's so atmospheric. That last issue had tints and reminded me at times of like Twin Peaks, with the town kind of, like together mourning this loss and dealing with the after effects of this terrible tragedy, and just building up the backstory on Erica and where she's coming from. And they're just book's great, man.
Yeah. Out of all the writers in the last couple of years, the ones that have stood out to me that weren't really on my radar before, James Tynion is one, and the other is Tom Taylor. I think both those guys this last year have really put themselves in another league, and I've just been enjoying all the stuff they're doing.
Yeah. Did you hear the rumor that Tom Taylor's going to be doing the Moira book for the X-Men?
What?
Yeah, that's a rumor. It's just a rumor, but
that would be awesome.
If he does, I'm there. I mean, even the new Suicide Squad run that he's doing, I have been so surprised by that, and it's one of my favorite books that comes out now.
I need to get caught up on that.
Me too. I only read the first issue, but I love Tom Taylor.
Someone mentioned in the chat that Suicide Squad was pretty good this last week.
Yeah, I heard that. I heard that it's been getting better with each issue.
Ghost Thrasher, you're up next, my friend. Do you have another favorite book of the month?
I want to talk about death metal. Death metal blew me the hell away, man. I loved it. I absolutely loved metal when it first came out. And the first metal, if you go back and you actually watch my review on the first two issues, I shat all over it. I was just like, this book is stupid. It's ridiculous. It doesn't make any sense. And then I remember at one point being like, I just got to let go. This book's called Metal. I thought the whole premise was dumb. I was like, just let it go, Robbie, and enjoy it. And from that moment on, I loved it. Just embrace the absurdity, right? And then you've got this, what was it, like 40-something issue arc on Justice League, 30-something issue, right? And the Justice League, I was so into that. They're dealing with the fact that they broke the source wall at the end of Metal. You get all this cosmic craziness going on. They introduced this idea of Perpetua. And then in that Justice League run, I was so pumped and primed, and I was ready for death metal. And it did not disappoint me. I loved it so much. It's Wonder Woman-centric. The artwork by Capullo was absolutely stunning. It had shocking moments in it. It is absolutely boisterous and absurd and ridiculous, but that's the fun of it. I mean, nobody else could do Wonder Woman with the damn chainsaw and me go, hell yeah. I love it so much. The big surprise about the Batman Who Laughs and what happens there. Wow, we're gonna get a new character rising in issue number 2 called the Robin King. Instead of the Goblin King, it's the Robin King. And I'm very excited, and I love any kind of crisis DC event. Like if they're dealing with the multiverse and they're dealing with the Anti-Monitor and the Monitor or the World Forger, which has been introduced, I love all of this crazy shit, right? And death metal, I'm so freaking pumped, and I just loved it. I think that Scott and Greg killed it, and I just loved the hell out of it, man. And it was one of my favorite books of the month.
Mine too. I loved it.
It's definitely a lot of fun. When I first read the original Dark Metal series. Again, you guys have heard me talk about, these large crossover events. A lot of them don't work for me. But the Dark Metal event, just about every tie-in and crossover that was a part of that, I loved. I thought it was such a well-rounded story. I mean, it was crazy as all get out, and I just loved it. And now with this new death metal series, I like what Scott Snyder's doing. Just in the very first book, he's taking a lot of DC continuity and tying it all together in such a way that I think it's gonna. I think it's if there was a way to right the ship, that's the way to do it. It was just perfect. I can't wait to see where they go with it next. I've got every single title. I've already got it on order with my LCS. It's going to be in my box. There's no way I'm going to miss a single one of those issues.
Yeah. I'm getting the tie-ins too, and I usually just stick to the main story. But I was like, man, he's getting all his boys to come and write the tie-ins for him. I was like, I'm all in. Because I've never actually read Dark Knight's metal. I've only read the Justice League run that he did before those. What was it, 39 issues or something?
Yeah, something like that. And it's such a joy. It's if you were following that story from metal through that, this is such like the perfect like explosion of it, And I told people, I was like, yeah, you can jump in it. It would be beneficial to read the Justice League stuff, right? But you don't have to, because we're all like just thrust into this new world. And he makes the point in the issue where he goes, the DCU, yes, this is the real DC universe. It's not another world. It's nothing crazy like that. I'm loving it, man. And what he's been able to do so well with Justice League and into Death Metal is he's been able to take the Justice League, and they had this whole Legion of Doom stuff. And this is what all blew up into this, right? And Hell Arisen was a big part of it too. That's where the Batman Who Laughs kind of usurps Lex's place as Perpetua's chosen general, I guess you could say. But he keeps making the situation more and more dire. Like that was 39 issues of the Justice League losing. Do you know what I'm saying? And it just kept getting bigger and bigger. I'm actually rereading it right now. I just finished rereading the 6th Dimension story where, we know there's a 5th dimension with the imps, and he explains what each dimension means. Like, Scott Snyder, when he was doing metal, had a conversation with Grant Morrison, and it changed him into one of my favorite writers. Absolutely. And he's doing Morrison very proud with what he's working on in the metal books. And, but it still has his own style, and you can tell that him and Capullo are just having so much fun. And the T-Rex Batman's one of the best new characters ever. It's a shame that they're pulling the Warren Ellis story that's coming out.
Yeah.
But
I'm wondering what they're going to do with that.
That whole scene where he's like, how do you like these arms now? Oh my God. And the other Batman, I like there's the creepy Batman that's kind of like the magic based one. But if you notice, there's one that's like, he looks like Batman Beyond, but the colors reversed. And Scott Snyder said on Twitter, yeah, that's Terry McGinnis. And he's called the Beyonder. And I was like, oh, that's cool. But yeah, that's a evil Terry McGinnis from the Dark Multiverse.
That's awesome.
Wait, which one is it? The one that's got like
the one in all red. He's like almost in all red.
Because there was one that's like got that tells the Robins what has happened about the Batman Who Laughs, but he's got like the chin hairs or whatever, and like the bell hanging from it. I thought that's who you're talking about. I gotta see who you.
Yeah, you can see him in that scene with the T-Rex Batman. He basically is the Batman Beyond costume. It's just reversed. The color's reversed.
So I picked up this book and I enjoyed it, but you need some backstory to it. I was lost. I was really struggling with what was going on, and just not having any familiarity with the characters whatsoever. I mean, I didn't read any of the metal books at all, and so I really kind of had a hard time with it. But from what I did read, it makes me want to go back and find out, because it was that good. And a lot of books I read that I don't have the history with, I'll read it and like, it doesn't interest me. I'm not going to take the time to go learn about it. This book is the opposite. This book makes me want to go back, borrow the trades from my friend Bob, read about it so I know exactly what's going on. The artwork was tremendous. I love the dinosaur Batman. I thought that was hilarious as well.
Me too.
And,
I love that.
And the ending as well was kind of like, oh, okay, I see what's going on. So it's definitely an in-your-face type book, there's a lot of stuff going on. There's a lot of stuff going on in this book. And it had me at the shiny cover. Let's just face it. The damn book had a shiny cover, and it sold me right there. So
and it's surprising that you missed out on the first metal then, because it was nothing but shiny covers, man. I loved them.
I wasn't even collecting back then, Robbie. That's the thing. I just started collecting right when that was finishing what they were doing. So
Yeah.
I mean, there's a big, huge gap and window of books that I didn't get for so long, and the metal series is one of them. So I got a lot of work to do.
I know people have their opinions about the tie-ins and stuff and just big events, right? And I've been criticizing Marvel because it feels like their events just come out of nowhere. Like there's literally no build-up. Like even with Empire, so they did a couple one-shots to build into it, but it wasn't natural. Like why not a story in Avengers about the Kree and the Skrull building up to Empire, right? That's what you get with Death Metal. Like that, all the entirety of Scott Snyder's Justice League run is leading into this, and they introduce Perpetua, and the way it ties in all these bits from like Bob was saying, if you're dissatisfied with the Dr. Manhattan rebirth stuff from Doomsday Clock, he's addressing it in this. The dangling Wally West Dr. Manhattan plot line that's getting addressed here. He tied in every single crisis into one reasoning, and he did it so well. And I would highly encourage you, Bueller, to check out Metal and then read that Justice League run, then read and also the Batman Who Laughs, and then Hell Arisen, and then you are ready for this book. Ready.
Only gotta read like
the Savior.
That's a lot of work, man. That's a lot of work.
But it's going to be so much fun. And the Savior, because this is a Wonder Woman centric story, but to me, the big key is going to be Luther. Luther, man.
Luther. I'm glad I at least was able to read Justice League and Batman Who Laughs before Death Metal. But I do still want to read all of the Death Metal. I want to find a whole like hardcover with everything. Most of the time it's like you got to buy the one, then the preludes, and then the tie-ins separate. And I was like, can't they just make one with everything in it?
Herminio had a good question. I have the main metal series to go back and read. Do I have to read the tie-ins? Is that something you would need to do?
You don't have to read the tie-ins with Death Metal. It would probably be beneficial to read the Batman Lost one where it's supposed to be, but you could just read Metal on its own, and it's cool. The interesting thing with the first Metal is that most of the tie-ins were just origin stories for the Dark Knights.
Yeah.
And that's what's really cool is like if you wanted to know more about this character, it explains how it starts. And they were all really creepy, chilling kind of inversions of the Batman mythos, and I really liked it.
I'm gonna have to ask you which trades I should order then.
Yeah,
because I know there's like a prelude one, and I feel like I don't need that one.
You don't really need it, but it would be beneficial to have it just because it starts setting some stuff up. The road to metal, but the things like the resistance or whatnot, you don't worry about that one.
Yeah,
that's just meaningless.
Is that your favorite book of the month, Robbie?
No, my favorite book of the month is Ice Cream Man.
Okay.
It's my favorite mainstream book of the month, though.
Sure.
But I'm a sucker for this shit, man. Like, I love Crisis. I love Infinite Crisis. I love Final Crisis. There's even a part of me that likes Convergence and 0 Hour, just the tiniest little part. But
that's a comic book fan right there.
I love crazy, cosmic, world-ending, multiversal type shit. And that's I just love it. That's why one of my favorite Marvel events is Secret Wars. Obviously, it's Jonathan Hickman and very Fantastic Four and Doom-centric, but I just love all this stuff about alternate realities and just literally the death of reality, and I love it. And then that moment at the end, too, where Batman Who Laughs is like, I already know what Batman's planning. I think just like him. I am him. Wonder Woman's like, you don't know what the hell I'm going to do.
That's
and
right.
he didn't. He got, by the way, everybody. That's what we say around here. He got.
Got, for sure.
By an invisible chainsaw of truth, baby.
Nice.
And how
I think
great
we're all in agreement for this book. I think we all enjoyed the metal book, and I think we're all going to be picking up every single one of them. As long as they're shiny covers, I'll buy them. It doesn't matter.
Man, I'll buy 2 of them suckers. I was gonna buy 2 of the foils, but they ran out, so I got the Matina, and I even wanted the David Finch and Artgerm. I loved it that much, but I like the foil the best.
Bob, we're going to move on to you. What's another one of your favorite books of the month?
So I definitely want to talk about this one. This one came out last week, and that's a Wonder Woman Dead Earth issue number 3. Oh my word!
Nice.
Such an amazing book. Daniel Warren Johnson. We reviewed it last week, Bueller, and then we also reviewed book 1. His artwork. Again, I would say that I'm not a huge fan of the way he draws Wonder Woman, but his use of space, the way he does panels, his motion and kineticism, so freaking well done. I loved every bit of it. The story has been from beginning up until this last issue. I've loved every minute of it. It keeps surprising me. There's some very heartfelt and soul-searching moments that you go through with Diana. So it really brings some soul to the story, besides it being this epic, post-apocalyptic Elseworld story. And I have been enjoying it so much. And this last one, I was blown away by it, and I'm glad I got at least one other issue before it ends. Did you guys get a chance to this one?
I still haven't got it, man. I read the first one. I enjoyed it. I thought it was really, really great. It's one of we kind of fell in the same boat as far as the Wonder Woman character herself.
Mm-hmm.
We just it didn't fit. It was kind of I didn't like the art style of her character. Just that. I mean, that's it. Literally just the character.
Yeah.
Everything else in the book, the backgrounds, the other characters, the action scenes, and this is an artist writer. He's doing both, on this book. I've enjoyed everything. Just the Wonder Woman character herself, I've had a hard time with.
Me too.
Yeah.
I only read the first issue, and I actually had to borrow it from my shop to read it because I wasn't sure about it. But now I actually think I'll probably get it in like a hardcover trade, because I'm kind of like Bueller, where I don't have nowhere to put those magazine boards, and it's like not enough. I don't have enough to like want to buy a box where I just have like 6 issues, the Joker and Batman Killer Smile, which that Batman was amazing. And then I have the question books. I'm like, but that first issue was good. But my shop, it was weird. He ordered a boatload of issue 1s, and he didn't order like any issue 3s. So he'd order a boatload of issue 1s and 2s, but he hasn't ordered issue 3s. So I was actually thinking I was going to go back and get issue 2 and 3, and he didn't have them.
I love this issue. I thought it was great. That fight with her and Superman was a gut punch, man.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. And so well done. And Daniel Warren Johnson is an amazing artist. I absolutely love the energy and the flow of it. I love this book, and it has not gone the way I thought it was going to. And I'm really pumped. We got one more issue left, and I'm really excited to see where it's going to go.
Yeah, me too.
Hey guys, I want to take a quick side note and just recognize something here really quick. Ryan Atkins, longtime viewer of the channel, artist. He has an exclusive variant comic book cover for No Heroine. I believe it's called number 1. Is it called Heroine or yeah? So yeah. I had to double check and look it up to make. That's what I was doing. I was just kind of stalling for time to look it up. But Ryan has an exclusive cover. I'm not exactly sure what it's on as far as where you can order it or something. But I want to give my tip of the hat to Ryan for having his first, I believe it's his first comic book cover variant that he's ever done. And you can check him out on Instagram, I believe, and stuff. And but it's really cool. I was looking at it right here on my phone. It's kind of a girl and just kind of has her head tilted back. But go check it out. Ryan Atkins. He's got his very first variant cover for No Heroine, number 1. I think, I can actually pull it. Let me see. You can get it somewhere.
That's Frank Gogol, the guy who did Dead End Kids. I'm super hyped for No Heroine. That's supposed to be like his take on Buffy the Vampire Slayer, but like if she was a ex-drug addict. But Frank Gogol's a phenomenal writer, so I'm super pumped for that. Man, if I could find his cover, I'd pick it up too.
It's on Exchange Collectibles. ExchangeCollectibles.com. You can find on there Ryan Atkins exclusive variant cover for No Heroine #1. There you go, buddy. Congratulations. Very cool, my friend.
That's awesome.
And we got another super chat here, and it's from Comic Crazy. $5 for Taco Bell on Wednesday, and get Sam a damn Mountain Dew on me. Great show. We've got 3 Chalupa boxes right now. So thank you so much. 3 Chalupa boxes. Hey, look at this one. We got the 4th Chalupa box of Ryan Atkins. My first cover is available at Exchange. There we go. Exchange Collectibles. There's a few left. It's hot, but it is. It looks really cool. I really like it. Go check it out. Exchange Collectibles. Ryan Atkins. He's been a long-time viewer of the channel, and I've talked to him a few times here and there. So I'm very happy for him and proud as well. And I think it's pretty cool that one of the community members has their very own comic book cover. So hats off to that gentleman.
Congrats, bro. That's super.
And also,
cool.
thank again the Comic Crazy for the $5 super chat. We got Chalupa boxes all around. That's awesome, man. We can invite some more people in here. We got more Chalupa boxes. Bob left. I was going to have him slap the duck. That was the thing I want to do. Whenever I get a super chat, who's ever in that corner has to slap the StreamYard duck.
Oh yeah. Let me see if I can reach up there.
Yeah. You get a super chat. So when he comes back, we're going to make him slap the duck a few times.
I like
so it. Anyway, sorry I kind of broke that up, but once I saw Ryan jump in here, I wanted to give the guy some recognition for doing something pretty awesome. So
man, cool, it's like he's doing good because the Virgin sold out and only the trade dress is available. So man, that No Heroine's going to be a really hot book. I bought like a couple covers of that. That's why I was like, let me know the website because I'll get it because I'm really looking forward to that book.
Sounds like they're almost sold out. Yep.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool, man. That's got to be a good feeling, right?
Dude, congrats, brother.
Yeah. Hey, we got a 5th Chalupa box. Get Dylan, great, some peanut butter. Okay, I gotta take that one down.
God damn, Scarpad.
Damn Scarpad.
Oh, that's good stuff right there. I forgot what we were talking about. I'm sorry, guys.
We were talking about Wonder Woman, but like Bob's gone now. He's like,
oh yeah, but he left. He couldn't take it. So
he went to Taco Bell.
Okay, here's Bob. Bob, yeah. Did you hear? You need to do us all a favor.
What's that?
You see that duck right there in the corner of your screen? The StreamYard duck. You see it?
Let's see in the corner of my screen. Oh yeah, up here.
Yeah, it's yeah. You know, he's pointing to his screen like I can see what he's doing. but
right here.
Do me a favor. We've had some super chats, and one of the things that you have to do is slap the duck for a super chat. So do me a favor and slap the duck a few times.
All right.
Do it like.
Oh, here we go.
Your other hand. There you go. Okay, good. Now,
he's going to slap it on his monitor.
You got to give it a good slap.
There you go.
Come on, you got 4 more to go. 4 more slaps.
There we go.
He's going to watch this on the rewind.
Be the worst weatherman, Bob. Bob would be a terrible weatherman. He'd be like,
oh, there we go.
Front moving in.
Oh, that's good stuff.
Lordy.
Thank you, Bob, for playing along with that one. Do you guys want to hit some more of the Wonder Woman, or should we move on to the next title?
Let's move on.
Move on? Okay. So I'm going to pick – I'm going to move to this week and some of the books – because I think this was a really good week of books. To be honest, probably the best week of books since they started coming back. And one of the ones that I got that I enjoyed and I read it, and that was the Thor #5. And apparently there's is this a hot book right now or something? That's the first appearance of the Dark Winter or Black Winter. Yeah. Black Winter it is.
First appearance, supposedly.
I'm a little confused on this book. I'll be totally honest. I think I missed #4, and I didn't realize I missed #4, but I never even picked it up. So I went from 3 to #5, so I'm a little behind. But this one I really enjoyed. I enjoyed the introduction of the new character. I enjoyed seeing some of the old foes for Thor. Juggernaut makes an appearance in here. I mean, very minor appearance, but anytime you can put Juggernaut in the book, I liked it. But did anyone else read Thor number 5 this week?
Yeah.
Yes.
You know, I did.
So I read it. I definitely I liked it. You know, you can't beat Cage's writing. I did have a problem with it though. You know, we've been leading up to this Black Winter the whole time, and you know, we kind of start in this story kind of after the battle has begun, and so you know, all that was great, but it was kind of, to me, it was kind of anticlimactic. Based upon what we were building up to, it just kind of seemed like it was, you know, not as big of a deal as I was expecting it to be. There was nothing wrong with it. It just didn't. It didn't grab me like I thought it was going to. Other than that, I mean, it was definitely a solid read.
Yeah, I liked it. I thought it was solid. I don't think it was as strong as the previous 4 issues.
Yeah.
But I did like it. I thought it was good. Yeah.
I was surprised people were going so nuts for like issue 5, because I would have said the first full appearance was issue 4. And
Yeah, I thought for sure. I thought it was 4.
he like doesn't really, you know, he turns into like a black and white version of Thor, and like he kind of, you know, but the real appearance is in 4. So I'm like, what is going? But you know what? I also think that it's speculation, market ploy, and all this stuff, because before COVID, it probably had 4 probably had the big print run. You could probably still get issue 4, but issue 5 probably was a way more limited print run because of everything that's going on. Because that one sold out. You know what I mean? And I don't know. I just think 4 was definitely better, but 5 was still amazing. Just a little bit, you know, more action based, I'd say too.
You see that the Chaos just said who the Black Winter turned out to be was amazing. Like, what are we talking about? Like, he's just the Black Winter. He can just turn into different people, right?
Yeah, right.
I don't think, was there a revelation that he was a certain being that we already knew? Because I didn't. If so,
No.
I missed that.
Right. That's what I'm. It was a great story. I mean, but I think issue 6 is going to be really big. I think issue 6 is. I think this was leading up a little bit more of like kind of a setup, you know. Kind of like saying like, oh, this is going to be your end and everything. But yeah, I'm trying to think.
Yeah, maybe I missed something, but to me, it was just him taking on different forms to like mess with Thor's head or something.
I know there's the stuff between Black Winter and Galactus where he's the that's got to be what it is. How he's
the one that killed
Galactus is his herald.
Oh yeah,
he's Black Winter's herald. That was really cool. Is
the Black Winter supposed to be Franklin then, from the future?
I don't know.
That'd be crazy. And I see someone mention the Silver Surfer Black 4 thing. Didn't Donny Cates squash that and be like, that's not the Black Winter? I think I saw Dylan post that, didn't you?
Yeah.
What? Oh yeah,
Silver Surfer Black 4. People are specking on that right now, but Cates was like, no.
Because Key Collector was trying to make it be a spec. They're like, this is the new spec book, and
trying to manipulate the market again, right, Bob and Bueller?
Yeah, I guess so. But
conspiracy theories abound.
They were bugging him on Twitter, and he's like, for the last time, he's like, that's not Black Winter, and he's like, I never told Tradmore anything about my plans for Thor. He's like, I never even wrote anything of my plans for Thor in Silver Surfer. So, you know, plus it's like a fire. It's like a fire creature. You know, I could see how people could maybe, you know, a fire with eyes and stuff because he's just like a skull. You know what I'm saying? But nah.
The other good thing is I know that Donny Cates is a big Buffy fan, and so am I, Buffy the Vampire Slayer. And back before he really blew up, I got to chat with him a little bit on Twitter about Buffy, and we both have the same favorite season, which is 6, obviously. Most people wouldn't agree with that, but me and him think that's the solid choice. But he's got a line from Buffy in Thor number 5 that I love, and it's from below you it devours, and it's the Hellmouth. That's a reference to the Hellmouth in Buffy, and I think that's cool. So yeah, so I guess the idea is that he's the Galactus of the previous universe, and to me that's not as mind-boggling as some of the other stuff we've gotten from Cates. But that's just me. Like I still thought it was a good issue. I really like Nick Klein's artwork, and I like Wilson's coloring, and I think Cates is doing a great job with it. But I just thought it was like somebody on my top 10 commented, they were like, you really missed the mark by not having Thor in your top 10. I'm like, well, okay.
I mean, I'd have to
Thor top 10.
Yeah, right? Yeah.
It's been so long since I read issue 4, but issue 5 still blew me away. I don't know. Like, if I think about it, maybe I did like issue 5 better. It just feels like so long ago, but it was definitely like the ending. I was like, oh shit, you know, like about Galactus and Black Winter. But when I start hearing everybody doing all this spec stuff, I'm like, well, I was like, I think 4 should be the one that you guys should be blowing up.
Yeah, I thought 4 was like the first full-on Black Winter.
That's why I kind of like toned it down for me a little bit on 5, because I'm like, what are you guys talking about?
You make a good point too, Dylan. Though with the span of time that it's been since we read the last issue, like that's going to affect some of these books, like what you retain from the previous issues, and maybe that's something with Thor. Maybe if I reread 1, 2, 3, and 4, and then read 5, it would probably pack that punch.
Right.
Great point.
I agree, Chaos. Nick Klein is a phenomenal artist. He's definitely underrated. I'm loving his art. That's a big thing on this that makes this book.
He had a good run on Deadpool. I typically hate Deadpool, but his run on Deadpool was really good too.
Yeah.
So what do you guys think is the better book right now from Donny Cates, Venom or Thor?
Venom.
Yeah, I think so. It's more established. I love Thor and I love Venom, but yeah, I'd say Venom.
He's been able to do more right now with Venom.
Yeah.
So it's almost unfair to compare them because he's just 5 issues in, but Venom has been built up to. And of course, the Null stuff's pretty cool. But Venom's telling I haven't really picked up on a lot of profound subtext yet in Thor, but that's going to develop as it goes. Venom is filled with great subtext that's about a codependent relationship, it's about PTSD. It's about family. Thor's probably going to get that. My favorite bit on Thor right now is that the hammer's feeling heavier to him, and they start alluding more to that.
Yeah.
So I think just given time, because those are 2 of his favorite characters, are Venom and Thor, and he's really going to put as much energy into Thor as he has been Venom, I think.
So, let's hit off Venom really quick, because that actually came out at the very tail end of last month, and that's a big issue. That was 25. Did you guys think it lived up to the hype? I mean, there was a lot of hype around that book. It was a special book. There's a ton of covers for it. It was an oversized book, all that stuff. Do you feel as though it lived up to it? I liked the issue. I thought it was fine. It did a great job of encapsulating everything that's happened to get everybody caught up. And then I guess it had some. Were people on to the idea that there was a first appearance in that one too? Like, it's just every Donny Cates book is a spec book, basically. That kind of gets a little obnoxious, but I've been liking the story, and I thought it was fine. It was a great ending to Venom Island, but what I love so much is that it's setting up yet again. Hey, Null is coming, y'all. Right. It's like Game of Thrones. It's like, how long until winter's here? 7 seasons.
I thought
7 seasons for it to get there. Any guess on who Virus is? Isn't that the person you're talking about there?
Yeah, that.
There's 2 new characters.
How about the fact that he's going to be like, yeah, he lost his hand. We're pulling a Rick Grimes.
Right. But man, I thought that was Mark Bagley's best issue too. He really came together on that one.
Who was the other character? And I thought Virus is Virus. Maybe I'm confusing myself. Is Virus not Dylan's little symbiote dude, like the sleeper or whatever?
No,
okay.
I don't know. We don't know yet, but no, I don't think so.
So
he's supposed to be a new villain. They showed in this variant, and that he's a symbiote hunter. So the speculation right now is that
is it Flash?
That he's like the maker, or the maker has created him to track down symbiotes for him.
He kind of looks like an Iron Man War Machine.
Yeah.
What if it's Flash Thompson?
That'd be crazy.
What if it's Flash Thompson?
Interesting.
But he has the same color scheme as Sleeper. That's why I got confused, I think. Yeah.
So I like this question from Ryan. He says, so are there Thor and Venom about to cross paths in major ways? Does anybody have any thoughts on that?
I still think that he's doing two separate stories there. I think Null and the Black Winter are separate.
Yeah,
I
kind of get that impression as well.
I was thinking that it was possibly going to cross over, but now that I've read that Black Winter story in issue number 5, I'm convinced that it's definitely two different stories.
What about you, Bueller?
I think Null and the Black Winter are the same thing. I have no idea, to be totally
I feel
honest.
like that would be too easy. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Some people say that they're connected somehow, or like maybe they're cousins.
It's because everybody thinks that everything Cates is doing is connected. You know?
But so you know that panel that Ryan Stegman did on 25? I actually had it pulled up. I don't know how good it's gonna look though.
That's the first appearance of that's the
shared it, but I don't,
virus, right?
So yeah, that's the first appearance of Virus. But do you see the guy like on his knees next to Virus, like with the wings behind him?
Is that it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I can blow it up more. That guy, that's supposed to be the other new character.
Oh, okay.
And they say he's supposed to be an Eternal because if you look like right here, he has like a belt hangover thing or something.
Yeah.
And it has the Eternal logo. This one, I don't know. I couldn't find a better picture. That one's like all glitchy.
I just heard a rumor that the Eternals are going to be used in the upcoming Ten of Swords story too.
Oh, really?
Hickman's X-Men, yeah. And if anybody did anything with the Eternals, hell yeah, Hickman, let's do it.
Yeah, that'd be crazy.
And there's also rumors right now that they're about to relaunch Eternals with a major talent behind it. And remember, last time they did this, it was Neil Gaiman.
But so you see the Maker going through that. What if he's like going through time and he's collecting all these symbiotes? I don't know.
What if it's Dylan from the future?
That'd
Like
be crazy.
Cable Dylan. You know, not this Dylan, but you know,
Right,
little
right,
Dylan
right.
Brock.
Yeah.
Every time I read Venom, I think of Dylan because of Dylan.
Right.
Yo, he named him after his biggest fan. Like I've said this plenty of times.
I like that.
Very cool. Well, you know what, guys? I mean, we're still going for a little bit longer, but we're going to go one more round table, and we'll go ahead and start off with good old Bob. What are some other books from this month that you really enjoyed?
Well, since we are, kind of winding down, I'm going to pick one that was a surprise to me. A lot of times I'll listen to Robbie's reviews, and I'll get surprises off of his. Like there was one this week that came off of there, but my LCS didn't have it. Matter of fact, I couldn't find it anywhere in town. But I did pick something up on the recommendation of somebody that was not on my radar. It was one that I had kind of discounted, and I picked it up this week, and I was pleasantly surprised of it. And that's this book from Absolute Comics Group, White Widow.
Oh, yeah. I have the first 3 issues of that.
Do you?
Yeah.
It wasn't something that I was planning on picking up. As a matter of fact, it kind of felt like, one of the pinup girl comic cover grab comic books. That's kind of what it felt like.
Mm-hmm.
But I was kind of very pleasantly surprised. It puts you on some common ground with, some of the Spider-Man tropes. You've got some Spider-Man DNA that has been given to her because she had a disease that was incurable. And that didn't quite fix her with regenerative capabilities. It didn't quite fix her, so her dad added his piece, which was some nanotechnology. And it just so happened, gives her superpowers. And, the thing I enjoyed about this is that it's issue number 4. The inside cover actually gives you a synopsis of the previous 4 issues. So I was able to hop onto it very, very easily and check it out. And I enjoyed it a lot more than I thought I would. And so that's kind of my surprise of the month. I don't know if any of you guys been reading this at all.
I still have to read. I've only read a little bit of issue 1, but my buddy Two Gun actually sent me the first 3 issues. I love the covers, and it seems a lot like I want to just binge those 3 because I thought it was like a 3-issue miniseries. Then I found out it was going to be ongoing or whatever. Mm-hmm. But a lot of people I feel like sleep on it, but it does seem like a really cool, story, and it does take those tropes, but I haven't read issue 4, obviously. I haven't even finished issue 2 or 3, but I love those covers, and she does seem like a badass chick, and I would like to definitely start picking that up, eventually. I just don't. My shop can barely get a freaking Vault book, let alone I can't think of what that company is, but there's some cool covers though.
But it's definitely my surprise read of the month. Other than that, the one book I really hope that we do talk about before we stop is Batman: The Smile Killer.
I was hoping you'd bring that up. Go ahead, Bob. Go ahead.
I thought the book was amazing. It definitely plays on what Jeff Lemire did in the first 3 books of Joker, the Joker Killer Smile. But I really felt like you really didn't have to read those other books to get into this one. It kind of was a standalone story on its own. It does draw from that, but it really took Batman in a direction that I wasn't expecting. Bueller, we were talking about this before the show, and you said that actually this was this kind of thing that they did with Batman was actually done inside of was it Batman White Knight?
It's the Batman: The Last Night on Earth. The very first chapter of that book is very similar to what they did in the Batman: The Smile Killer. The Batman Smile Killer, it has Batman or Bruce Wayne in like a mental hospital. He thinks he's Batman. The people around him are like, no, Batman's not real. All these people that you think are like villains, that's not who they are. That's literally the same scenario that they did in The Last Night on Earth in the first chapter of the book. And that's when I was reading the Smile Killer, I was like, wait a minute, this is really familiar. And it was really good. I enjoyed this book. I thought it was really well done. And but I was a little surprised how similar the stories were. This obviously went in a whole different direction from that first chapter in this book. But to be totally honest, it's very, very similar. I mean, the same thing, like, oh, that's not the doctor. That's not the Gordon, that's the doctor, whatever, a different character. But they lifted the same thing. That's basically what they did.
I didn't think about that, but you're right, man.
Yeah,
I didn't think about that because Last Night on Earth was good, but it kind of, that was a while ago. So
I mean, there's more to this story than what I'm just talking about. I mean, they addressed him as a child and everything, and how the television show influenced him and everything like that. But the whole insanity thing, being in a hospital, thinking he's Batman and he's not, and all that stuff, it's literally the same thing as The Last Night on Earth did in the first chapter.
Even the Joker, his Joker story from before that really felt like, really similar to the Joaquin Phoenix Joker movie, so. But yeah, besides the guy who's Bruce Wayne's cellmate when he's in the crazy house, that's the only thing that really connects to his Joker, 3-issue run. So you're right, you don't really have to read it, but you get that nod that if you did read the Joker one to who that guy is next to Bruce Wayne or who his cellmate is. But
I thought the same thing. I think I even mentioned in my review that I thought that at times the story was a little familiar. And the Last Night on Earth thing, there was an episode of Buffy that's like that. It's a great episode of Buffy from season 6, the best season of Buffy, and where she wakes up and she's in an asylum and she's in a straitjacket and this is all allegedly in her head. And so when I was reading Smile Killer, at first I was disappointed in the story because of that. But when I got to the end, I loved that because I'm like, the ending is actually kind of ambiguous. And I like the idea that they did that. Did he see the signal for real or was it all in his head?
Right.
And I like that. And so what I did this week was I looked and I was like, man, anything, I had a bunch that could have been the pick of the week. Right. And I was like, well, who had the best presentation and composition? You cannot beat Andrea Sorrentino right now as far as art goes, and Jordi Belair's colors on that too. The artwork in this book blew me away. The panel layouts, the design, the composition, the lettering, everything was working so perfect that even though as I'm reading it, I'm like, this is a story I've seen before. It didn't matter because I loved it so freaking much. And the artwork was so moody and atmospheric Another one of my favorites this month was Gideon Falls 22. And it's always another one of my favorites because Lemire and Sorrentino, from the moment they got together on Green Arrow and then into Old Man Logan. Well, they actually didn't work on Old Man Logan together. Did they? No, they didn't. It didn't matter. They do exceptional work together. I loved Smile Killer. I thought it was really, really strong. And what cemented it for the pick of the week was that ending and how that leads to like more in this universe, because this isn't all explained yet. You know what I'm saying?
No.
And I made a tweet, saying like this was the pick of the week and blah, blah. And Sorrentino responded and said, don't worry, I'm not done with Gotham. So
that's awesome.
I think we got a little bit of information that there's definitely going to be more out of this world coming. And I love how it works on its own, but to me, it actually puts a different spin on Killer's smile that makes it even a little bit more unsettling, a little bit more what's going on. So I really like it.
I would agree with you on that, and the understanding that we may have read this before. Didn't we say the same thing about Killer Smile? I mean that that subversive Joker getting into somebody's mind and then turning them into a killer. We've read that story before.
That's Harley's origin, right?
Yeah, basically, yeah. But, the way Lemire did it through the whole thing, I was on board the whole time. I love his writing.
Yeah, Mr. Smiles is my favorite new character at DC, by the way.
I will say this, I mentioned the fact that, this story is very similar to that one. This is the better story of the two.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, out of the two, even though this borrows from this book, this is the better story. So you much rather prefer read this one than The Last Night on Earth. Like I said, The Last Night on Earth was just the first chapter of that, was hitting the same kind of plot points as the Smile Killer, but the Smile Killer itself is a better story. So I would definitely go with that one.
I'd say the first chapter of Last Night was the only really good one too. I mean, issue 3 was okay, but I didn't really like issue 2.
Get out of here. That book, man, come on. That was a top 20 book for me last year. I loved Last Night on Earth. I love it.
I like it too, but it's
you can't read Snyder and Capullo, and you just got to let it go, man. You just got to let it wash over you. You know what I'm saying? It's like being baptized. You don't be fearful and like stiffen up. Just let it happen, and it will all be over, and you'll feel different.
Hey, I said issue 1 was dope. Issue 3 was good, but issue 2 I didn't like as much.
Dylan, you're out of your mind. You don't know what you're talking about, man. I don't even know why we have you on this show.
Well, when I reread it, I'll let you know what I thought.
Bob, do you have anything else, or you want to end on that one?
I'll end on that one there, buddy.
Okay. Dylan, any other books from this month that we didn't cover that we should hit?
Yeah. There's Middle West, which I always got to bring up. And sadly, I didn't even know it until I heard Robbie say it. So I didn't read it until then. So I always check Robbie's reviews just to see what I'm maybe missing. Because if my shop's got it, I'm either picking it up or I'm ordering it. So make sure you check my boy Robbie out every Tuesday night. But yeah, man, Middle West, dude, I cannot believe it's ending already. It just, I don't think it's rushed or anything. It just feels, it's one of those where you're like, no, I don't want it to end. And
the series is ending, really?
One more issue.
One more issue.
So I had no idea. Yeah, I didn't either until Robbie said, and which I'm guessing you didn't know until after you had read it, unless
I didn't know it till it said at the end of that issue, next issue, the whole thing concludes. Because I thought this was just, this could go for 60 issues.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? There could be more. And
besides Ice Cream Man, this has been my favorite Image book. Like, I love this so much. I'd never really gotten on the Scotty Young artwork. I like some of his covers here and there, but there's some people where they pick up everything Scotty Young. I still think he's a great artist, but I just don't fall for every single cover. It just depends which one I might like. Some I don't, but this book has really shown how phenomenal of a writer he can be. And at least I got Strange Academy to fall back on, because I really did enjoy issue 1 of that. But man, it's been feeling like so long, and we're still not getting issue 2 for another couple weeks, I don't think so.
Well, don't blame Marvel. They didn't create COVID-19.
Hey, I'm not.
Or
But
did they? Dun-dun-dun-dun-dun. Unsolved Mysteries is coming back. I wonder if they're going to deal with that. Just kidding.
That's the Teen Dog Shade tonight. The next episode, you would cover that stuff, right, Robbie?
I steer clear of that stuff. But by the way, tomorrow night, Teen Dog Shades night, because I saw something in the sky and we're going to talk about it.
There you go. Also, real quick, shout out to Hero and the Kid. They got Scotty Young on the show tomorrow. Interview tomorrow. I believe it's at 3:00 p.m. Pacific Standard Time on Hero and the Kid channel. Will is going to interview Scotty Young himself. You can ask him why he's ending Middle West at number 18, hopefully. Yeah, anything else, Dylan?
Or I'll ask him for him. But let me see. Was there one more? I guess I could say because I just don't have it by me. I'm sure there's so many I could talk about, but off the top of my head, I would just say at least I love this story. And speaking of Michael Moreci, he's got the plot coming back next week. That's one I highly recommend to pick up, but I'm a huge Star Wars guy, so I thought
we were shorted that one. So I just got him in yesterday, so I haven't read it yet, but he can write a good Star Wars story, man.
He can, man. And Star Wars Adventures, it might be geared towards kids, but I still think this is a really fun story. And if you're into the Clone Wars, it's a must read, and you get all those awesome characters that you love. And I can't wait for issue 3. I wish it was still a weekly series, because now I think it's a monthly series. Also, Star Wars Bounty Hunters. This has been just like a straight up action series, I feel like, where every issue you're just getting blasters left and right. I wish they had a little more Boba Fett in it, because that's one of my all-time favorite characters. But we get some Boskin here, and he's like crazy in this. So I've been loving this one too. Honestly, what was the other one? What's that other Star Wars that's coming out? Darth Vader, but we haven't gotten that one yet.
No.
And Star Wars, I'm missing those like crazy. So I've been glad to get these to hold me over. And that'll probably be it, because I can't. I know there's others, but just with the pile I got in front of me, that's all. Oh, the last one I'd say. Oh man, because I know you'll agree with me on this one, Robbie.
I'm hoping it's an IDW book that you're about to talk about.
Is it?
I don't know. I'm surprised you haven't mentioned Mountainhead yet. There we go.
Oh, come on.
I was going to grab. I can't believe I was trying to think of it, because I just had these stack of books. That's so funny. You were thinking the same thing. Dude, this is the coolest book ever. I can't believe it feels like so many people are sleeping on it, because it was so hard for me to find that 1 in 10. I did find it, even though when I got it, it came a little dinged up, which I was disappointed. But man, this issue went bonkers. If you're a fan of The Thing, and speaking of Hotel, it's the same writer of Hotel. So all you guys are out there loving Hotel or Sync by John Lees, he is slaying it on this book. And we only got one more issue, so 5-issue series. It's like reading, it's just so simple, man. It is so good, and it goes so bonkers, man. I love this book. And yeah, man, I'd probably say this is my favorite IDW book. Without a doubt, it's one of my favorite indie books, period. It is so phenomenal.
Issue 4 was so bonkers, dude. It was so bonkers, man.
Dude,
I loved it.
I know, man. It was so
You guys
crazy.
don't read that book, do you? Mountainhead?
I haven't gotten it, no.
There's one more issue left, and you're going to have to try out the trade. It's wild. It's so much fun.
All right.
It really is. It's so unique too. I mean, it has, the tropes of The Thing and everything, but man, the artwork is so crazy and
it
cool,
goes full on Lovecraft in this issue, does it not, man?
Yeah. Because I could have said, I mentioned the plot. There's Red Mother, but Mountainhead. Yeah. Oh my God! If I'm gonna talk about anything, it's gonna be Mountainhead. And thank you, man. I was so glad I thought about that. And it's so funny, man. Great minds thinking alike, right there, bro.
You know it, man.
Hell yeah!
Give me some dap, Dylan.
That was horrible. That was horrible.
I really missed it.
Dylan, you got any more you want to end on that one, buddy?
Oh man.
Dylan, you got any more you want to end on that one?
Yeah, I'll end on Mountainhead. That's a perfect
Okay.
one.
We're gonna go to the man himself, Ghost Thrasher, Robbie from Pop Culture Philosophers. What are some other really great books that came out this month?
I got 3 more to talk about. One is Decorum number 2. Decorum number 2. Not a comic book like it. Incredibly experimental, very innovative. I see a lot of people that go, I don't understand what's going on yet. Yes, you do. You're just fooled by how simple the actual story is. The story is incredibly simple, but it's the world that's built around this one simple story. That's where the complexity comes from.
I would agree.
And I love it. Huddleston's artwork, the style shift from scene to scene. The fact that anybody could, it's a very simple story. It's about an assassin with impeccable decorum, who's being hired to do this job. And then you got the stuff about going on about this church and the singularity, and it's about to destroy everything. And they're trying to hide this information. Right. But Hickman just can't write a simple story. He's like, all right, well, if I'm going to do this, let me create a language. Let me create like maps and charts, and so much gets put in this. It's 8 issues. Issue 2 blew me away. I loved it. I loved it so much. The other one is Strange Adventures number 2. Don't worry, hear me, Neo. You know we got you. Strange Adventures number 2 was amazing. Mitch Garrett's, Doc Shaner, 2 completely different art styles, but they're able to like make them work together, even going from panel to panel, the different art styles. This is where Tom King shines, is doing these like C-list characters. And I'm not trying to hate on Adam Strange. I think he's a great character, but he's not a character most people remember. And especially Mr. Terrific. They're not the most popular characters. But I love this story. I love the dichotomy that's going on in the story about is he a war criminal or is he a hero? Right. And I love the different perspectives. It seems to reflect very much the divisive nature going on in society right now. So I really like that. But the other one that I really, really wanted to talk about was Bleed Them Dry, number 1.
Ooh.
A cyberpunk, neo-noir, vampire ninja book set in the year 3333. I mean, do I need to say anything else? Ruan's artwork is absolutely amazing. It's luscious. It's like Blade Runner meets Blade, which I have said would be Blade Runner, which I would totally be down.
I like that.
But it's a great book. It's written by Elliot Rahal, based on a concept by like Hiroshima, I think.
I didn't know that was his book.
Yeah, he's the writer of that. And
okay.
Dyke Ruan is the artist. Miguel Muerto, I think, is the colorist. The coloring's amazing. The cityscapes look great. I've read the first 2 issues of this, and it's great. It's basically in the year 3333, vampires and humans live together in harmony, right? But the vampires are kind of the elites in society. And so there's this detective team. One's a human, one's a vampire, and they get thrown into the midst of this case that involves a serial killer that's going around killing these vampires.
Yeah.
And so and especially in issue number 2, this whole conspiracy starts unraveling that's tied in with the serial killer. And it was great. And once again, cyberpunk, vampire, ninja, crime, detective mystery, neo-noir. Come on.
Blade Runner.
Blade Runner.
My boy Justin Birch lettered that too.
Yes. I heard about that because they only credit Andworld Design. But he said on Twitter that he worked on it. I was like, that's nice. That's nice.
If we have time when everyone is done, I got one more book. If no one mentions it, I think we got to talk about it.
Mueller gave you last call like twice.
I know. If we have time, if we don't have time, it's okay. We can talk about it.
Robbie was the last one up, so I mean, I guess we got time.
Oh, I thought you were next, Bueller.
No, I already covered all my stuff. I'm good.
Okay.
What do you got? Go ahead, Joe. What do you got?
Did you go through all your books though, Robbie?
Yeah, that's it. That's everything I wanted to. Those to me, everything that we mentioned there, that was the best of the month right there.
I didn't know if you would say it. I don't gotta talk on it long. I just want to say this was another.
That was a good book. Yeah.
That was another one. Because I gotta mention the horror ones. I still like Mountainhead better, but Dead Day was another really awesome issue 1, and I look forward to issue 2. Ryan Parrott, all you guys that love that TMNT Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. And he does Mighty Morphin Power Rangers too.
Oh, that was a great ending, by the way, for the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers number 50 and the TMNT Power Rangers book. Like Power Rangers has kicked it to another level again.
I liked issue 50. I was kind of expecting a little more out of it in the end, but I'm kind of excited to see where they go with it next.
I think the biggest problem with Mighty Morphin 50 was that we knew that was going to happen, so it wasn't really a big surprise. But I like how they pulled the Death of Superman trick.
Yeah,
where you had to fold out the gatefold at the last page. That was pretty cool.
Great stuff.
I want to pull this up real quick from Andrew Chandler. Said would have loved to hear your take on Batman Beyond 44. But all in all, the video opened my eyes to other amazing artists and books. Thanks, guys. A video a week or every 2 weeks would be dope. Here's the thing, Andrew. Every one of these gentlemen have a YouTube channel, and they all do a fantastic job. They review books every week. Bob has his review. It comes out on the weekend. He reviews all the books he reads. Dylan has reviews on his channel. I don't exactly know what dates, but they show up every now and then, so keep an eye out on Dylan's channel for his reviews.
Well, I do a live stream every week, too, though. So
there you go. Dylan's got a live stream every week. And then we got Robbie, who, hands down, and I don't mind saying this, he's the best reviewer on YouTube for comics. And he puts out a review show every Tuesday night. Comes out around 8 o'clock Pacific Standard Time on Tuesday night. He reads all the books on Tuesday. He works at a comic shop. He reads 40 to 50 books in a matter of about 30 minutes to 35 minutes. And he reviews every one of them nonstop. And they're non-spoiler reviews. It's a must-watch. Pop Culture Philosophers. That's Robbie. He's down in the corner down there. And so, Andrew, if you're not familiar with these gentlemen, please go check them out. And I'm sure between the four of us, we can provide you with enough information to overload your brain for years to come.
Yes, sir.
So very cool.
Well,
you know what, guys?
Take a breath for 30 minutes.
Yeah, he doesn't breathe. And he's pick of the week is one word on that show. One word. Hashtag pick of the week.
The whole damn video is one word, Bueller.
Exactly.
There you go. But I want to go ahead and give you guys a minute because we're going to wrap up here and just tell everyone about your channel really fast. We'll go ahead and start with Dylan himself. What do you got going on your channel, buddy?
Not much. Me and Chaos are gonna start back up a stream. Me and Trinity used to do every Saturday. We'll talk about some of the weekly titles that we were enjoying. I think Death Metal will be one of the big ones that we want to talk about because we were always talking about all the X-Men stories every week. I'll be doing live streams myself, just talking about some of my favorite books and showing my pickups. Because I be getting a lot of books, not like Robbie, but I still talk about a lot of books. And I've toned back on the editing just because it's been kind of hard. But I did that Donny Cates spec book, and I have plans for a lot more. Like, even though I'm not big into speculation because I'm a reader, but me and a buddy who's really into speculation has wanted to do a video with me to kind of, get my feet wet after he saw that Donny Cates video where we'll talk about it, but it's not going to be like big time spec. It'll be more like spec for fun. You know what I mean? So just kind of like stuff like my Donny Cates stuff that's just for fun because you know me, I'm more invested in the reading instead of just, picking up books because maybe they'll be worth something. I'd rather go for the story all day. So, yeah, man, just check the video out. I don't go live every day, but as much as I can, because I work the graveyard shift, but I'll definitely have content pumping out.
And that's Dylan's Comics, everybody. If you just type in Dylan's Comics in the search engine on YouTube, it'll pop right up and you'll see that guy's face. And then you just subscribe to the channel and watch his videos and all that good stuff. I have their names down in the description down below. I don't have their channel links. I'll go back and edit those and put those in there, or you can just put them in the search engine. You'll find them right away. But we're going to go over to Robbie. He's got Ghost Thrasher. That's not his channel name, everybody. His name is Rockin' Robbie, okay? And he's got a channel called Pop Culture Philosophers. He just hit 7,000 subscribers. Why don't you let the people know about what you got going on?
Well, you already said so many nice things about me and with the channel and the weekly comic book review, and I appreciate that. I love doing it. I love talking about comic books. We do movie reviews, too. We just started doing these live movie reviews because there haven't been new movies, and and we're doing our thing, and I'm having a lot of fun with these. We do these PCP Army movie polls. PCP Army is our Facebook group, and Dylan is now officially a member of the Excitable PCP crew. We covered Killer Clowns last night. It was super fun. So if you got time free on a Friday night, come and chat with us about movies. And of course, the weekly comic book review, the weekly pop culture wrap up every Sunday morning, but not tomorrow because I'm doing this instead. And there wasn't much news, to be honest with you, comic book wise this week. But yeah, we just have a great time there. So join the PCP Army and all that. And I'll get into Batman Beyond because I haven't been reading it. But I saw that Jim covered it. He just randomly picked up the newest issue, and he seemed to like it and said it was good to just jump in. So I may just jump in. But yeah, that's what we do. PCP, Pop Culture Philosophers, the home and creators of Ghost Thrasher.
That's awesome. And also Robbie is part of our new Coffee and Comics video now. He has a little segment in there. He does a little 10-second clip. We cover his pick of the week. So thank you, Robbie, for letting us do that and put that in there and sharing that with the audience.
Thank you for having me. I really enjoyed y'all's discussion on my pick last time. That was great.
Yeah, it was a good one. But now we have this guy right here, which is my co-host to the new Coffee and Comics show, Bullseye Bob. Why don't you tell them about everything comics that just hit 1,000 subscribers this week? Congratulations, Bob, by the way. It's well deserved.
Yes.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that. As you just said, my channel is Everything Comics. On Saturday mornings, I do drop a different coffee and comic show where I basically hang out at a local coffee shop and I review the comics that I read during the week. I get a little spoilery with them because by Saturday, if you haven't read your comics yet, then you're not a comic fan.
Jesus.
The shade.
I love just hanging out and talking about the comics. And of course, I'm on the Comics with Bueller channel, where we have the Coffee and Comics show there, where we go over some of the most amazing topics in the comic book industry. I love hanging out with this guy and just talking comics all day long. This Monday, I'm actually going to be doing a live stream. I'm going to be doing an unboxing. I got some CGC stuff. I got an AOK. And then I got a comic book haul that I'm just going to do a full unboxing with. And then because there were so many comics that came out this week, so many good ones, I only reviewed about half of the comics on my show this morning. And so I'm going to review the other half on Monday. So look for that to drop. But thank you guys for the support. 1,000 subscribers. I couldn't have done it without you guys. Appreciate you very much.
Hell yeah.
Congrats, brother.
Thank you, man.
Thank you. I want to say thank you to these three gentlemen that joined me. You know, it's been a long time coming. We wanted to make this a monthly thing. Everything shut down. We kind of pulled the plug for a while, but now we are back, and will be a monthly rotating panel that we do on everyone's channel. We'll figure out who's next for next month. We're going to go over the monthly comics, and next month will be another great one because there's a lot more comics coming out next month than there was this month. But I want to say thank you so much to everyone who joined us tonight. This was a blast. We helped find some new readers to some great comics. And you know what? That's what it's all about. So thank you for your time. Appreciate it. Don't forget to like and subscribe. You guys know what to do. We'll see you next month. Bye.